Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Over Under on 1252 Sports. I'm your host, Harry the Greek. Welcome to week 9 of the National Football League. Let that roll off your tongue. It's over halfway through. Are you kidding me? It's unbelievable. Hang on. I don't have a co-host today. Look at this. There's nobody around me but a whole bunch of cats. But we got a lot of people down in the back room. Both of my co-hosts here, and we have special guest, Mr. Andrew Davis from Two Giant Goofballs. We're going to break down some games today. We're going to try to win some cash. What a week we had last week. It was pretty impressive, although 2 New York teams still stink. I just have to throw that out there. The moment I jump on board and give them credit, neither one of these 2 teams could win. Sorry about that, folks, but I tell you what, both the overs and the unders I gave you, the New Orleans game with the under, that was so far under, it was never in jeopardy. And by the end of the third quarter, the over with the Minnesota game, way over. By the end of the third quarter. On the sports web, we were talking about some of the college games I'd given out. Georgia versus Tennessee. Told you, it wasn't even close. The game started at -7. It went all the way to -11. Still covered. They're the best team in the country. Oh, and Alabama? Bye-bye. How does it feel? Talking about how it feels, I hope we have some Green Bay fans tuning in today. I can't control myself. It just feels really good. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Green Bay sucks. Come on, I'll be waiting. Remember, folks, if you have a question or a comment, don't be afraid. Go ahead and post it. We're going to go ahead and read it live on the air. And we're taking live phone calls today. We didn't have one last week, which is really unusual. But you can see at the bottom of the screen, you can dial 727-320-5866. That's 727-320-5866. Welcome to the Over-Under. Without further ado, I got to bring in my co-host, Mr. Peter Blake from the Sports Web. Peter, how are you today, sir?
What's going on, buddy? Happy Sunday. And Green Bay sucks.
Oh, God.
Green
say it again.
Bay sucks.
It just
Green Bay sucks. Like that.
It feels good.
It does. It feels really good because I get tired of hearing, about how the greatness of Aaron Rodgers and how he's going to be so great without Davante Adams, and he makes all these wide receivers look like champs. And exactly what I thought was going to happen this year has happened this year. As I said before the year started, that the Minnesota Vikings would be the class of the division.
And they're not even that good, Peter.
Well, I'll tell you right now, they're getting it done, and Kirk Cousins is definitely having a good year. Defensively, they're not the best, but those wide receivers are tough to beat at the end of the day. And Dalvin Cook, believe it or not, is healthy, which is a great thing.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. The defense is still pretty suspect at this point in time. They're still letting teams go ahead and climb into the game. You can definitely get into the shootout with either one of these two teams. It's fantastic. But as far as Green Bay is concerned, they're playing the Detroit Lions. I love it. We're going to get to all these picks coming up on 1252 Sports.
Sucks.
I'm going to go ahead and bring in a couple of more guests when they come in. They know the rules. They know what they have to say. It's very therapeutic. First on the list, live from Krabby's on the Deck, beautiful Treasure Island, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray.
Oh God, okay, I'm too high. Wait, I mean, my shot's too high. Hold on. All right, Freudian.
There, Ray.
So what about Green Bay? How do you feel about Green Bay, Ray?
Oh, it's amazing how every year we get lazy. NFL public gets lazy. And you know what? NFL and legalized gamblers and everybody loves it because the lazier we are, the more awesome they sound like they come up when they come up with these brand new stories. Well, Aaron Rodgers is tripping and Tom's getting divorced. And the thing about it is that, yeah, the Green Bay Packers have been good since Dan Mikowski when they went undefeated and won a Super Bowl. I'm kidding.
The Magic Man.
The Bucks and the Rams. But, the thing about it is every year, these are 53 guys getting paid on all 32 teams, and these are the best players in college football. Teams step back. But, man, I mean, how many things could you – when you don't draft a receiver, you bring in Jordan Love, then you let go of Davante Adams, you give them – they're not trying to drive Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay. Matt LaFleur sure has a weird way of showing it.
Well, I mean, it's all on Rodgers for taking that type of contract that he has. It gives the team no flexibility at all. He wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. This is what you get. You didn't follow the Brady blueprint. You didn't take less money. You didn't offer flexibility to your team at all so they could keep a Davante Adams. And people say, well, you couldn't do it this year because you wanted to play with Derek Carr. Well, then why did you get to that point? Why not sign him a couple years earlier so you could keep him in-house? Instead, you want to make Rodgers the highest paid player, and this is what you get. You look around the league with some of the quarterbacks that have been paid big-time money, they're losing their number one threats. And I love every minute of it because it's what I predicted before the season. I completely love it.
Ray, I got to tell you, man, it's absolutely beautiful out there at Krabby's today. I mean, the water's just glistening.
That's why I'm getting a sexy
connection.
shot.
And I'll tell you what, while you're setting up, Ray.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead and take me out.
While you're setting up, I'm going to go ahead and pull Ray out.
Hey, sucks.
There.
And now I'm going to go ahead and add in someone from Two Giant Goofballs, Mr. Andrew Davis. Andrew, the drill.
Green Bay sucks.
Yes.
But
It's wow.
God.
here's what I gotta say though: we gotta change this up. Can we just say Aaron Rodgers sucks? Can we just say Aaron Rodgers sucks? Because here's the thing, Peter, you mentioned about Devontae Adams and the money issues there. Adams took less money to go to the Las Vegas Raiders than he could have made by staying with the Packers. Both the Packers and Adams have said that. So it's not that he didn't want to play for the Packers. He didn't want to play for Rodgers.
That's it. And it's always about the drama.
No. I'm going to go back to a full screen. You are going to repeat exactly word for word what you just said about Devontae Adams.
He wanted to play for anybody but Rodgers.
Because of the drama over the last couple of years. That's all you've heard about. It was Rodgers going to go? Was Rodgers going to stay? Should I stay or should I go? I mean, that honestly should have been the theme song the last couple of years for the Green Bay Packers because it's all you were talking about. You weren't talking about improving this team. You weren't talking about improving this defense or anything like that or signing big-time free agents. It's Rodgers, should I stay or should I go? And at the end of the day, Devontae Adams got tired of it because he's one of the top wide receivers in the league. Consequently,
but how did we buy it as a national media? We didn't look at we knew it, right? Andrew, good to see you, brother. We knew that he went there for cheaper, so it seemed like there was trouble in Denmark. But what we were fed is he's going to reunite with his college quarterback and Derek Carr. They're going to light the world on fire. And now you got the hottest division of football, the AFC West, which is actually the AFC least. But
hold on, say it again. And who predicted that this year? Go ahead. Go ahead.
You did, Harry.
Go ahead. Just throw a little homage out there.
What do you want? You want to reach around? You did.
Well, absolutely, I do, because everybody and their mother said, oh, my God, the revered AFC West, the Chargers, the Raiders,
still Russell Wilson,
Denver Broncos. Oh, by the way, everybody was saying the last place Kansas City Chiefs. I went, pump your brakes, boys.
Yeah,
they let Tyreek Hill go. They're stupid. Randy Reed forgot how to be an offensive coordinator, just like Byron Leftwich.
I'm not right all the time, but when we have to stir that pot a little bit, it does feel real good and it tastes really good.
Yes.
Who would have thought all it took is a divorce for Tom Brady to only be the second most hated quarterback in the NFL? I'm just saying.
Oh, Andrew.
Oh, that's bad.
Andrew.
We're going to read some of the comments here.
Wow.
Troy Palomalo says, you guys are taking too long. Good morning, Troy. Thanks for tuning in, especially off of YouTube. Troy says, first. Yes, you were, sir.
Oh, my God.
Christopher Cole. What's up, Chris? Good morning, everyone. Troy Palomalo says, can't wait to see the Bucks lose.
Well, there you go.
Troy.
And Christopher Cole jumped on board and said, Green Bay sucks.
Wow.
Troy says, can't wait till the season's over so we can get rid of Bowles and Leftwich. And Andrew Davis says, that Drew guy is great. Oh, God.
Wait, who said that? Andrew said that?
Andrew says that Andrew is great. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this mug.
With the Amazon Stadium.
Oh, no, George.
Oh, yes.
George is my friend. Oh, no.
Hey, Andrew, unlike...
Yeah, it was pretty great last week. Besides the New York Giants.
You have to remind me about that.
I'm sorry. How are the Bucks doing?
Hey, you're absolutely correct. I agree with you, but I did actually think they would lose to Seattle.
I just see you in that glass house just throwing stones. I'm just saying.
Oh, snap.
Oh, hey, Peter.
What
How many windows you got left?
What are you going to say, Pete? Oh,
Super Bowl?
What was that? Sorry?
2 years ago, we won a Super Bowl. Didn't we beat your Giants on Monday Night Football through that?
How many you got now? Is that 2? Because we got 4.
Okay.
You're halfway there. Just like Bon Jovi, man. Living on a prayer.
This is like...
How many
years? Like
Peter,
this is like little people wrestling.
Give him the yeah.
Yes.
I'll give him this. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
That was good.
No, for Andrew, give him the ultimate victory.
What?
Flawless victory. What do you want from me? I had a long day yesterday.
Ultimate victory. Oh my God.
Ray, I want you to. Ray, I think this is great. I mean, I think what you did yesterday for 14 hours, a lot of people in Chicago are not going to know what you did. But go ahead and give a little rundown exactly what you did and how it went down and how fun it was.
I worked a street corner undercover as an actual prostitute, but I wasn't. Well, just kidding. I actually emceed.
Wait, that was
How
you?
about new? Yeah, that was you, Andrew. I got your license plate.
Cares.
I got to MC the big event, the big, all the Angie Ray, Sutherland, and then a Pirate
big
Flag
Sutherland.
band, which is a Kenny Chesney tribute band.
How about
Big here. I got to do the introductions, go on stage, got Tristan up there, had a little flavor. It was a long day. That's why the voice is still out. But thanks for having me this morning.
Wow. It sounds.
Wrapped it with a bow.
Oh, God. Christian Sandefeld says, top of the morning, fellas. Good morning, Christian. I hope you're ready for week 9 in the National Football League because we got some really, really good picks again. Troy Polamalu says, Harry wants to talk TNA wrestling. No.
What's
How
not?
about
Why
you?
not? What's wrong with TNA wrestling? Although it's not around anymore, it's Impact Wrestling. You goof.
Sorry. I thought he was talking about the real TNA.
No, it used to be called.
Ray knows what I'm talking about, and so does
I'm-
Andrew.
I got-
Unfortunately,
talking
you
about.
don't know
Nobody
nothing.
cares about what you talk about at all. Nobody cares about you.
Oh my God! Who the hell?
Guys, I have a boat over here getting in. There's a marina, John's Pass here, you're familiar with, right across the little street. There's a marina where public boats go out, and there's a boat. There's 12 girls getting on. It has to be the Coppertone Tanning Team, and I can only hope for you guys, most of you guys out there, that boat's going to flip around the pass and come out through here. When they get here, if I see them, I'll let you know.
yeah, we're gonna go full screen, and you can tighten the shot up a little
Oh
bit.
wait, hey, there's girls too. I'm sorry. But
Roger Shue, good morning, Roger. Big Chicago fan living down here in the Tampa St. Pete area. He's watching from the beach as well.
Wow.
Christian Sandefeld says it's bad day to be a Dolphin. I don't know about that. You're going to be getting picks. You know what? We're not going to wait too long to do stuff like this. Let's talk some football, guys. What do you say? I mean, we got all our introductions done. We talked about the Giants and the Jets and the Green Bay Smackers and
the Bucks, yes.
the Bucks. Yeah. And we've
Yeah.
seen a little bit of, Bantam going back and forth. We even got a little baby Huey in there.
Oh,
Let me show
Bantram.
everybody baby Huey. There he is. Okay.
You just call me fat.
No, not at all.
I'm very self-conscious. The camera adds 10 pounds.
Bye, Felicia. Guys, the Chargers are going to the Atlanta Falcons. Let me say it with me. It's therapeutic, gentlemen. It'll be good. The first place Atlanta Falcons.
I don't want to say it. I don't
I
want to
know.
say it at all.
You ready?
I can't believe
Justin Herbert will have to operate without his two top wideouts on Sunday as Allen and Williams are out due to hamstring and ankle injuries.
Yeah, that was
Now, for the Chargers, you got, obviously, I just talked about Hopkins and Allen. Tight end, Donald Parham, Chris Rumpf. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But let me tell you about the Falcons injury report. A.J. Terrell and Elijah Wilkinson are out. The only one that's questionable is Eric Harris. This team is relatively healthy.
Yes.
The Chargers are only a 3.5 point favorite, and the total's 49.5 points. Any opinions, Andrew, in this game?
So I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one. Like you said, the injuries are mounting up there for the Chargers, and the Falcons overall have been a pretty good surprise and pretty good against the spread this year. So I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go with the under on the points.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, this Atlanta Falcons team, if anything, they're playing gritty. Arthur Smith doesn't. He's still doing it with Marcus Mariota or in some magic. It's not a game that the Buccaneers need, because they'll lose the division. They still have the Falcons on the docket the rest of the way, and it's too early in the season. I still like the Chargers, but man, don't they wish they would have sat Williams now instead of trying to play him before the bye week and may have had him healthy for today's game? I would say I would take the Chargers to cover.
Peter.
I mean, you would take the Falcons in this game because they are relatively healthy and they're playing for first place, but it's called the National Football League, ladies and gentlemen. It means no friggin' logic. Justin Herbert is still a top-flight quarterback. This defense is probably missing their best defensive player in A.J. Terrell. I like the Chargers in this game.
Wow. Harry the Greek's going to tell you to go to Texas in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Do not play it. Do not bite. Do not pass go, and do not collect $200. This is one of these games that this game should be, the Chargers should be -10. But don't forget Khalil Herbert. Not Khalil Herbert. I'm thinking Chicago Bears. Justin Herbert has a couple of ribs. He's got no wide receivers. His running game's in shambles. And who knows what's happening with this vaunted defense. Atlanta can put up points. But as usual, they're the Atlanta Falcons. They can't hold on to a lead. Expect a ton of points. you could put a small position on the over 49.5 because I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. But the Greek is telling you now, go to Texas, which means what? El Paso.
So who would you take in this game if you're not betting on it? You're taking the Falcons or you taking the Chargers?
Well, of course I'm going to take the Chargers in this game. The Falcons couldn't stop you, me, and Drew and Tampa Bay Ray if we lined up under center. I mean, that's
Nice at all.
no, seriously, they're that bad. You know what? Before we get to the next game, we're going to go ahead and bring up a comment. Rency Hill. Hey, Rency, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't sign White back. He's overrated. I really wouldn't say that. We're going to talk about that a little bit later when we start bringing in the Buccaneers. So everybody remember that comment. Christopher Cole says, I wonder who Rick Stroud was talking about in the article about disagreements in the building with the Bucs offensive game plans. Ray, do you know?
No, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I hate to admit this, but since I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, nor do I actually make any money covering the Bucs, I just do this as a passion. Please put a quarter in my tin. Biscuit, governor. But the truth of the matter is, this week I've just kept my eyes all off the Buccaneers. I've seen a little bit here and there, but I've just been waiting for this team to get right against the Rams this week. And I'm not calling myself a fair weather. Yeah, I am calling myself a fair weather fan. Haven't paid attention this week. Don't have a clue, Peter.
Who was he talking about?
Well, I mean, I'm wondering if it's Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady. I'm wondering if that honeymoon is over, if you will. Who knows at this juncture? And maybe it's BA still in that building. I don't know who it is. So it's a great point. As always, Christopher Cole, he makes those great points. But you would think the two offensive masters, if you will, are Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady. And if the offense is struggling, then there has to be some disagreement between Leftwich and Brady.
I'm going to have to agree with that. Andrew, you got anything to add to that? I mean, would you know who Rick Stroud was talking about there or no?
I think the whole team's just a mess. Just call it what it is.
You heard it live right here in 12.
Sum it right up, Andrew.
Hang on.
Yes.
Let me give the guy. You know what? For people that don't know, Andrew doesn't need a battery to talk.
He doesn't need
Today,
anything.
for some reason, even my cat is saying, Andrew, that was a really good answer.
Here, turn that cat around. That tells you my thoughts in the Bucs right now.
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
I'm not.
Yeah,
This is- my kids are watching this.
I know.
Well, and here's the thing. They're absolutely a mess right now, but I think
What, my kids?
well, no, not your kids. You're a mess in
Well,
itself.
Peter has a kid.
Hey, maybe we don't know. We can't see
Kid
them on
never
the screen.
We have no idea.
Yeah, I got. Wait a minute. Okay, my bad.
A mess. But going back to the Bucs situation, it's absolutely a mess, and it's a must-win game today versus the Rams because you don't want to go 3-6. You have to win this game. You should win this game. And I think Tom Brady's support for Devin White may go a long way. Devin White has gotten killed all week long by Warren Sapp and by the media. And the only way to shut everybody up is to have the effort. Have the effort. I'm not saying make every tackle. Show effort. Show the leadership. Show that you're captain of this defense and go out and punch somebody in the mouth. This defense has to play big today. And Tom Brady's support going forward, I think, may have catapulted this team. They have an opportunity to save their season, but they got to do it today at Raymond James Stadium.
Pete, can I ask you a quick question? Because here, I know we don't want to stand this too long, but at this point now, especially with the injury to Winfield last week, are you thinking the Bucs are missing Whitehead at safety coming up and plugging the holes?
No.
That's a great question. You know who I
Because,
want to
man,
answer
teams
that
used to be
question?
okay, go ahead.
Really? You know who I want to answer that question? Right here. This is an outsider looking in. He's not a fan. And be objective. Don't be just like you're being a smartass, Drew. Are they missing him or not?
I mean, I would say anytime you miss a good player, you're going to miss him on the field there at that point. But I think in the end, the issues they're really having is they're just when you get a couple of losses early on, you lose your confidence, which they clearly have. That kind of trickles down. Like you mentioned the issue with White and with Sapp. You shouldn't worry about Sapp. Sapp's a jerk. Anybody that knows that guy outside of the football field knows he's an absolute jerk.
And this is an outsider, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no doubt he's a jerk, but at the end of the day, he's a Hall of Fame player, and his football IQ is off the charts.
Oh, and his speed.
Hold on. If he can point out watching film that somebody doesn't have effort in this vaunted defense, which you stand on, the staple of stopping the run, and they're not able to do it, that's a problem at the end of the day. Like I said, the offense has not given them any help with going 3 and out, but it also comes back to injuries. Akeem Hicks returning today. Hopefully that will be
supposed to be limited action. But you know, Peter, I'm going to interject here real quick. You know what Warren Sapp said after the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl? Anybody want to take a guess? I have the quote still.
What he said.
Wait, after 50, after 37?
Yeah, our team was better.
Yeah.
After this last Super Bowl. So anything that comes out of Warren Sapp's mouth Come on, guys. Seriously.
Well, I mean,
understand he's got
why
a
is he
high
not a
football
broadcaster?
IQ, but
And why is
he's
he not a
never-
broadcaster anymore?
but he
he's
was a
never said,
broadcaster,
guys,
and-
look, man, the man has never said anything positive about anybody in football other than his buddy in Green Bay, Mr. Brett Favre.
Dude, I'm not calling you out on that, Harry, but I would have paid good money to see the 2002 Bucks play the 2020 Bucks because, yeah, that would the better offense in 2022. But let me tell you something: if they were playing by old school rules, Mikey Lynch would have given 7 concussions. Allstott would have barreled, and it would be a hell of a game. But
I'm going to tell
agree.
you right now, Tom Brady wouldn't have finished the game against that 0-2
Oh
defense.
snap!
Oh.
Because
Okay.
Sean
He
Watson
wouldn't
sat
have
on the
finished the game.
flag.
You're talking
I'm
about
not
one of
sure
the best
about that.
defenses ever assembled.
Wait,
The
you're not
point
sure
I'm trying
about
to
what?
make, hold on, guys. The point I'm trying to make is this. It's real simple. It's time to put this narrative to bed about Warren Sapp. He has nothing nice to say about anybody,
No, he doesn't.
anyone. And it's a shame, especially for a player of his caliber.
But to
Okay.
be fair, you're right. He hasn't had anything to say about Vita Vea. He doesn't like Sue. He didn't like Sue. Now he likes Sue. He thought it was going to be a big loss. Didn't like Akeem Hicks. I get that. I understand that. It's it's old man get off my grass type of mentality by Warren
true.
Sapp. But
No, he
When
needs some
you look
grass
at
to calm down. Is what he needs. He needs some
Oh,
grass to calm
no.
down.
that's the problem. He's
But,
got too much grass, and that's the reason why he's not a broadcaster anymore because of the off the field exploits. But at the end of the day,
He was a Deshaun Watson lover
First
listen.
off-
Hey, there were no services
this
rendered.
guys, listen. For this guy
or
to
paid.
put it out and put
Hey,
it
that's
out,
for sure.
Cheap ass.
he can say whatever he wants to, but he's put it out there on film. It's right there. He's broke it down.
Did you guys see
The
that?
effort is not there.
What was it?
So
It was a pelican. Watch, he's going to come straight out. I mean, these things are slapping. I'm sorry, Pete, I cut you off, but these
No,
are
I
slapping
mean-
out here.
Was that a pelican or a pelican?
No, it was
Wait.
a Pelicano.
It was a
the
pelican.
point
Yeah.
is, you can say whatever you want to about Warren Sapp, but he's pointed it out on film. It's showing there. And if I can see it and everybody else can see it, and you had Todd Bowles, I heard, was chewing out White on the sideline. So the effort is not there. I understand if you miss some run fits, but if you're not giving full effort and you're a captain of this team, that's a problem. And like I said, they can turn it around today. The season's not lost. It's been disappointing, but it's certainly not lost, and they have a favorable schedule going forward.
I tell you what,
Very
I've not seen Devin White face adversity, not even going back to LSU. And I think I hope this butt, because he was shadowing Lamar last week. I hope he's good, but if not, then we'll bring Ed Ogeron in here and he'll chew his butt out. Sorry, I'm done.
Back to the comments. When does Jensen come back? I really don't know, Peter.
Couple weeks, supposedly. That's the report from Sports Illustrated, and we'll see if that happens, because if it does, it would be an absolute upgrade to that offensive line, and we know that they're missing that, and that's been one of the factors. You could talk about Tom Brady all you want to. You could talk about the wide receivers being hurt, and you could talk about the defense underachieving, but at the end of the day, the biggest elephant in the room is the shuffling of the offensive line in the offseason and the injury to Ryan Jensen. That has been the biggest component of this offensive line, and they got to get it done today with Nick Leverett starting, getting his, second, third start here. No rookie in there. They got a big-time challenge from Mr. Aaron Donald coming to town.
Absolutely.
Leverett looks pumped up, baby.
Kevin D says Green Bay sucks. Falcons can run the ball. Chargers can't stop the run, and Herbert is not fully healthy. You know what? Those are
Fair
all
point.
great points.
Very good points.
That is why I said to do what? Go to Texas in this game,
Texas,
folks. Christian Sandefeld says, Harry, did you just say that Justin Herbert has a couple of ribs? Only a couple? Yep. Trey Palomalu says,
Here, move it,
hopefully
you.
we bench Devin White today.
Not going to happen.
Troy says Sapp is a Bucks legend. He absolutely is. He's also the biggest ass wipe that ever walked the face of the earth as well.
He's a legend in his own mind.
Correct.
No,
2000
whoa, wait a minute. No. He's not
No.
a legend in his own mind. He is a Hall of Fame player. He's one of
Yeah.
the 3 technique tackles of all time.
He is
whatever
one of
you
the best.
He
Listen,
thinks he's
say
LT,
what-
though. He thinks he's LT.
He took over some games. He was up
Oh,
there.
dude, no, he
No.
was LT.
Yeah, no, he was not. No,
he was-
sacrilege. Sacrilege.
Well, bitch, he was LT on the inside. I'll tell you that right now.
Sacrilege.
On the defensive line.
First,
Aaron-
Aaron,
on the
Aaron
inside.
Donald's better.
There's only
Aaron
one
Donald's
LT.
better.
Aaron Donald, my ass.
No.
Aaron
I'm
Donald's
7 days
better.
a week. Fat boy, Donald, the guy who's so
No.
full of them. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying
No.
to. Andrew's always got the good takes.
Warren Sapp is not. Let me tell you something. 2 different generational players. Warren
Great.
Sapp was one of the quickest defensive linemen that I had ever witnessed. And I
Sweet
have to
technique,
tell you,
baby.
let me tell you something. In today's game, I think Warren Sapp would have been better than Aaron Donald, Andrew, with all due respect. And I'm going to tell you why, because there were a
Speed.
lot less rules back then. That's speed. Aaron Donald's got a lot of speed too. But let me tell you something.
Shit.
That I may not like Warren Sapp as a person, but I got to give him his credit where credit's due. That man could flat out ball. He was so
chop
fast.
blocks back in the day. The chop blocks, how nasty it was. Oh,
Tom Banner says free grinder. Good morning, Tom. Thanks for tuning in all the way up there from Chi-Town. Anyway, I'm going to get back to some of these games.
Sure, go for it.
We're going to talk about the Dolphins and the Bears, but we're going to save that one for last. The Panthers at the Bengals. Get this, guys. Hubbard was downgraded to a non-participant in Friday's practice and has been ruled out for Sunday's matchup against the Bears.
Wow.
You know what? Injury-wise, they're both quite injured. Both teams. I'm not going to go through the list, but Bengals are at home. They're 7-point favorites, not underdogs. But get this. The total points are 42 points. Cincinnati doesn't have much defense, and I really like the quarterback play coming out of Carolina, and they played very inspired football after getting rid of C-Mac. Drew, who do you like and why?
So the Bengals always seem to disappoint me. They always do. So I'm over in Franklin Mountain State Park right now. I don't know if you know where that is. That's in El Paso. That's in El Paso.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
that
was good, Drew.
That was good. That was good. What up? You know what? Same thing. Cincinnati seems to. I'm going El Paso. They seem to disappoint, and I don't see enough to think that they're gonna. Yeah, I'm good. El Paso.
Petey.
This is a very easy pick, ladies and gentlemen. The Bengals are going to win this game, and they're going to win this game outright. The Carolina Panthers should have won this game, and last week, if their wide receiver doesn't take their helmet off, the story of this team right now is Deontay Foreman, not Chuba Hubbard. So, but still, at the end of the day, the Bengals have to come back. I get it. They're losing Chase. I like the Bengals at home, and I like them big.
Well, I watched exactly what happened last week against the Cleveland Browns. This was a must-win game for Cincinnati. For the Bengals, defensive tackle Josh Tupu was out. Mike Hilton finger. Get this. Jamar Chase, done. Chidobe Awuzie, they're all out. Lael Collins, he's got a rest because of an illness. Trey Flowers has got a hamstring, and he's questionable. I don't know, guys. 7 points is a lot of points, but I do like where Andrew was talking about. Bet the over in this game.
Yes.
Neither team are going to stop each other. It's only 42 points.
Yes.
Usually, when it's hovering that 40 mark, they're begging you to bet the over. On this one, don't be afraid to do it because the Greek's actually giving this one out. I absolutely love this game. Let's bet the over.
I like it.
Yeah, I like the over too because, again, there's no defense in this game, although the Panthers have been playing better. But you're exactly right. The Bengals very questionable on defense, and it seems like someone
Ray,
screwed up.
Excuse me, Ray, you said 10:30 you had to leave. Do you still have to leave or can you hang?
I'm good. She's going to hate me anyway, so
Perfect.
I'll hang out for a while.
Everybody hates you. Let's talk about the beloved
I
Green
don't
Bay
hate you.
Packers.
Yeah, I don't hate
Thank
you.
you, Andrew.
Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions, who, by the way, the Detroit Lions were playing really inspired football. Not so much as of late. They're starting to show exactly who they are, but so are the Packers. Love to say it. The Packers won't have their leaders at linebacker today. Ready? As Campbell suffered a knee injury in the loss to Buffalo on Sunday night and did not practice all week, Aaron Rodgers has some banged-up linemen as both Bakhtiari and Jenkins are questionable to play. However, both players were limited participants in practice on Friday. The wide receiving core may again be shorthanded as Lazard and Watson are both questionable to play. Lazard was limited all week, and while Watson was limited on Thursday and Friday. I don't even know what to say here, guys. I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse for the Green Bay Packers, especially for their health.
Wow. Green Bay sucks.
Ray, who do you like here?
Well, it's obvious. So the Detroit Lions have to lean on their Pro Bowl tight end, Hawkinson, and go ahead and find that success over the middle. What the hell? Why'd you trade him to the Vikings? Are you kidding me? Packers get right against the Lions because the Lions are a sell team, and everybody knows it.
Green Bay's only 3.5-point favorite at. They're begging you to bet Green Bay. Andrew, who do you like? 3.5-point favorite, Pack, or do you like the Lions?
I'm doing a little discount double check here. I'm going with the Lions, and I definitely got the over on that because I think it's going to be a really high-scoring game.
Absolutely. Peter Blake?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Drew here. Over, I like the Lions in this game, and I'll tell you why. They got to finish. They got to figure out how to finish. They haven't been able to finish all year long. Hopefully, they can finish Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in this game. Always give the Packers a run for their money.
Hey,
Well,
guys, let me ask
how babies are made. But go ahead,
Hey,
Ray.
Quick question: If Jordan Love's not the guy, and Matt LaFleur is tired of Aaron Rodgers, do the Green Bay Packers consider just playing blasé the rest of the season and trying to get up to the 2023 Super Bowl or quarterback draft?
You know what? That's a great question. I'm going to go ahead and take that one. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers would ever allow that to happen, to be honest with you. The man's going to be playing for too much pride. Now, I still think he plays for himself and not so much for his teammates that are around him. Hence the reason why Davante Adams isn't on your ball club, and I can name a plethora of other wide receivers that aren't playing for you either, nor running backs. Okay, let's just get that right out there, okay? When you pay someone that kind of money and not be able to keep enough money, like, Tom Brady did, to go ahead and sign additional free agents or even keep current players that are on their rosters. This is exactly what you get, ladies and gentlemen. How do you like me now in Arizona? How do you like me now in Baltimore? These teams will never win championships as long as you continue to pay these quarterbacks this kind of money. With that being said, the Pack are 3.5-point favorites. The total's 49.5. I, on the other hand, like the absolute other way around. I like the under in this game, 49.5. because I still think Green Bay is going to have to run the football, and they are going to play defense. They are going to hold the Lions in check. But this is my upset special of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Take the Lions at home to win this game outright. This is one of the upsets that I'm going to give. I'm going to start giving 2 upsets per week. I was 7 for 7 going into last week, and I went 0-2 last week with both New York teams. But this one I feel pretty confident with. I do like the Lions on the money line. Going back to the next game, we've got the Colts at the Patriots, guys. This is a barn burner. Taylor has been officially ruled out after being unable to practice all week long due to an ankle injury. And they're missing their cornerbacks, Tony Brown. Quarterback Matt Ryan, he's out, but he's not playing anyway. Linebacker Grant Stewart, he's got a pectoral, and he's out. Dennis Kelly, he's got an ankle. EJ Speed is an ankle. He's questionable. New England's got a list of injuries from here to Chicago. It's just horrible. The line is Patriots are -5, and the total's 40.5 points. The lowest total of the week for grand total. Ray, who do you like? You like New England -5, or do you like the over-under, or what do you like?
Yeah, I think it's never been about the coach and the quarterback in New England. I think they put something in that water and opposing teams come into town and drink it. And I think that Bill Belichick and the Patriots are going to hold on. Plus Sam Ellinger, he's going to take some lumps. I like the Patriots on the line.
Perfect. Andrew?
I'm going Patriots as well, and definitely going the under. I think this is going to be a really low-scoring game.
Absolutely. Peter Blake?
Yeah, I go with the Patriots and also the under. Bill Belichick takes away your biggest weapon. Where's the biggest weapon right now? It's the rookie quarterback. The Patriots feast today. I like the Patriots in this game.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's a unanimous decision. Everybody should like the Patriots. I think the Patriots are not just a 5-point favorite. They should be a 12 or a 13-point favorite in this game, primarily because of no Matt Ryan, which hasn't been playing very well. They're going to give the rookie a really good chance to see what they can do in Indianapolis right now. But not having Taylor is a huge, huge loss for this team.
Yeah.
I do like the under as well. This game should be somewhere in the vicinity of 27-10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not even going to be pretty. This is a get-right game for the New England Patriots.
And I think the big-time question is, who's the starter? Is it Mac Jones? Is it Zappy?
It's Mac Jones. I think the Zappy mania has gone by the wayside after that Chicago game.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Now, if Jones starts to play bad again, or he doesn't, if he's not productive enough on that offense, you're going to have fans, you're going to have people calling for Zappy to go.
They were doing it against Chicago as well, and Zappy played even horrible. I didn't want to go there.
I'll tell you what, though, Judon on that defense, he's playing outstanding, and Darius Leonard, Judon and Darius Leonard, linebacker in Indianapolis, that guy's a guy he's on the side of a milk carton. So I mean that and it's at home. That right there says to me that this defense is going to be giving Ellinger all
probably the most disappointing team in the National Football League this year has to be the Indianapolis Colts.
They're only a quarterback away.
And they were my
deep quarterback away.
Hey, I'll
quarterback away for a decade.
Right?
It was a deep pick for me. If you like what you're listening to, do me a favor. Do us a favor. This is how we grow organically. Besides the stuff that Andrew and Peter and Ray smoke all the time.
I don't smoke.
I'm only kidding. Anyway, don't forget to share the show. Post it on someone's link. Post it on your timeline and post it on someone else's. But most importantly, hit the like button, would you? I mean, if I don't get any likes, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't do this for my health. Just like it.
Can I get one more?
Go right ahead, Ray.
I'm good for one more pick, brother. And thanks for having me, Pete and Andrew. Good to see you guys. And then I don't have to even go first, but I'm good for one more. So
All
make
right,
it
Ray.
work.
We're going to
Give me
go
a good one,
Bills.
Harry.
Make it
I'm going to
count.
give you the
Let's make it
I'm going to
count.
give you the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. You ready? Buffalo will be without their safety Jordan Poyer again after he injured his elbow last Sunday against the Packers. Right now, they have Poyer's out, Milano, Spencer Brown, and they're questionable. Now for the Jets, it's a long list. Corey Davis is out, and running back James Robinson is questionable. Ray, who do you like?
I'll tell you what. First of all, let me.
Oh,
just
sorry. 11.5-point favorites the Bills are. 11.5-point favorites, and the total's 45.5.
I want to say the Jets are a gritty team, but Harry, I'm sorry. I did say last out. I just want to give shout out. Go on Facebook and go follow Chris Mathis. Of course, he's the producer for the Tom Krasnicki and Ronnie Lane shows 3 to 6 on WDAE. But he just posted, I know we all knew this, but it's a great reminder. Bucs quarterback Tom Brady will make history today. He needs 164 yards passing versus the Rams to become the first player to eclipse 100,000 career passing yards. So let's use that guy's little
100,000
motivation.
yards.
From here to the moon and back 17 and a half times. You know what? I'm taking the Jets. I want it to be a good game. I don't think that the Bills should be anointed. I've seen them have hiccups here and there, and Salah's got this team playing gritty, but I'm going to take the Jets, but I want the points.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter?
Yeah, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills in this game. I mean, it's pretty simple. The Jets showed what they were last week. They're a young team that still has not figured out a way to win. They're not going to beat a superior Bills team. I like the Bills big in this game.
Andrew?
I really think it depends on what happens with Robinson. This is an El Paso game for me. If he's in, then I'm going to go with the Jets. If he's out, I'm going to go with the Bills.
Perfect. I'm going to give everybody the New York Jets at home. They are going to be a gritty team, Ray. Absolutely. I like the Jets at home catching the 11.5. And you want to know something else, guys? I like the over 45.5. I think this is going to come down to the last two drives. I do not think that the Bills are going to cover this game. That's just my own personal
The
opinion.
problem for me is Zach Wilson. I mean, he's got to
Yep.
show something.
No, I understand.
I can't see him trying to beat this Bill. And I know everybody wants to see
I'm
this.
not saying they're winning the game. Let me clarify that. I said the Jets would cover the 11.5 points,
Okay.
meaning they can still lose, but not more than 11.5 points, Peter.
And
Ray,
Zach
tell everybody
Wilson-
where they can find you, buddy.
No, fellas, I got to go. Giselle just texted me back. We're meeting for brunch. So have a great day. Go Bucks. Enjoy the show. Thanks for having me, fellas.
All right.
Off with his head. We're going to go ahead and get back to the comments really quick. Hang on. What's where we're at? Troy Polamalu says the 2002 Bucks were better. Tom Banner says free Griner. We already read that. Troy Polamalu says bet your money on the mediocre Bucks beating the Eagles according to Vegas rigging game. Okay, don't even understand what that means. Troy says remember me when it happens. Troy also says he's laughing out loud hysterically. Christian says Green Bay sorry ass F word. You'll love to see it.
Green Bay sucks. Bow,
Dun,
bow,
dun,
bow, bow,
dun,
bow.
dun, dun. Christian Shanafelt says, see the report that Green Bay inquired about the following players at the deadline: Claypool, Judy, Darren Waller. It's better to try and strike out than not try at all. No, the thing is they will never get off their wallet. Green Bay has never been a team that has really made big splashes other than Reggie White. When was the last time that you've seen Green Bay make a big splash, Peter?
No, they don't. They don't. They don't believe in free agency, and that's the problem. Free agency is the tool, and it can be used as a tool for basically, covering up those mistakes that you make in the draft. And obviously, I get it. They're young wide receivers, but they have not been productive, and that's the reason why you're going into the trade deadline trying to get a Judy, trying to get a Claypool and a Waller, because you admit that you made a mistake and that these players that you drafted this year are not coming in and making the contributions that you want them to make.
Yeah. Andrew,
But here-
anything to add?
Here's the thing, though. I mean, first off, don't forget Charles Woodson. That was a good signing by them.
That's a good
But
one. That's
yeah.
a very good point. Yes.
But here's the problem: is you got these receivers for going for ridiculous value, and you got Claypool going to the Bears for basically the same thing that the Texans got for DeAndre Hopkins. That's insanity.
Yep.
I mean, again, Hopkins, they really should have got a lot more for him. I think there's no argument for me on that one there. But giving up a second-round pick and more for a guy who hasn't even, let alone 1,000, hasn't even clipped 900 yards, and says he's one of the top 3 receivers in the league. He's a problem, that guy. I don't think he's going to be a good fit for Chicago. But
No, actually, I think the opposite. I think he's going to be a really good fit for Chicago. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And Chicago needed another wide receiver to complement, I'm going to say it, N'Keal Harry, okay? Because he's another 50-50 big body receiver who can catch the ball, but most importantly, he knows how to play in this game plan, especially when Chicago wants to run the football. Chase Claypool is the same person. I think Claypool is going to be forced to become a number one. So what does that do to Darnell Mooney? Oh, I don't know. Here's a great suggestion. Put him in the slot where he belongs.
Yeah.
Now he's peeling the top of the defense off. And by the way, if people have been watching, that young man right there is not afraid to stick his nose in a linebacker's chest to go ahead and hit for the run game, which I don't like to see. Andrew?
I got no problem with how he plays, but I think we can all agree that Pittsburgh runs a very good organization. So when you got a team like that willing to give up on a guy who's still got a year and a half of a cheap contract, you got to question that. There's a personality issue there. Watch.
Well,
you're right.
Definitely a personality issue because
that's
we've
what they
seen it
said.
a couple of years ago, but a change of scenery, I think, is going to do him right. And it's going to have to do him right because this may be his last chance. As talented as he is, the word is out. And you're exactly right, Drew. Pittsburgh, they're a fantastic organization. Why would they give up on him? Because they give up on wide receivers and replace them with other wide receivers. You have Deontay Johnson, the kid Pickens from Georgia. So they don't really care about losing wide receivers. They've done that throughout their history. Mike Wallace comes to mind, Antonio Brown, the kid that caught the touchdown against the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. They let him go for bigger money. They just replaced those wide receivers in the draft. So they don't really care about that. But you're exactly right. Claypool definitely has an attitude issue at the end of the day. But if he can come around, buy into what this Bears organization is preaching, I think you definitely got a steal there, especially with a second-round pick.
I'm going to have to kind of agree with that as well. Andrew Faubert says, morning, gents. Andrew, thank you so much for watching us north of the border. I know it's super, super early where you're at. Tom Banner says, turn Florida into Chicago November 8th. Vote straight blue. Get out of here.
Oh, God.
Christian Shanafel says, will Ballard Reich make the whole season?
Andrew?
Andrew?
I think, again,
Peter?
I think it's been disappointing. I mean, and I think it's definitely a great point of emphasis because you invest all this money in Matt Ryan. It doesn't work out. You trade for him. You give up resources that you could have used for a future quarterback. And then on top of it, you have one of the best players last year in the league in Jonathan Taylor. And supposedly all the money you invested in this defense, and it's been a complete and total flop. So absolutely astute point there. And I'm not sure if they do make it through the season because it has been so disappointing at this juncture.
Andrew?
What I think is interesting is that from everything you read, Jim Irsay is the guy who said pull the plug on Matt Ryan because they're worried about him getting hurt and triggering extra money next year. But if you got a coach and a GM that's fighting for their life, literally, do you really want to put in the 6th-round pick? So it makes you wonder, is that decision already made? Either way.
Strong.
That's a great point because you're not
unbelievable.
playing for anything at this point. You're playing for draft position, and this is going to be a quarterback draft where you can possibly get Young from Alabama, somebody like that. So definitely there's a possibility here you could be playing for draft position, and these guys are already dead man walking.
It's all about the money because Matt Ryan, if he gets hurt, it triggers a whole lot more money for him next
Without
year.
question.
They're going to cut loose. So that's what it boils down to. So see
Correct.
what you got in the young kid. See if he can maybe be a backup quarterback for you down the line. Go get your guy next year.
Yeah,
And
you want to talk about a mess? That's a mess.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's an
it
easy mess
is.
to fix with the one position. And they've been trying it with 40-year-old quarterbacks every single year. Stop it. Go draft a young kid and see what he can do.
Well, ever since
Absolutely.
Andrew Luck, I mean, and then there's been talk of them trying to get Andrew Luck to come out of retirement.
Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, well,
He looks like he hasn't lifted a weight in 5 years, let alone
he's
a football.
comfortable with being retired, and
He's
he
not
should
coming
be
back.
because of the way this organization treated him. And look, when you get a rookie quarterback, you have that 4 to 5 year window to basically put a team around them before that quarterback wants to be paid handsomely, like one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And they didn't do that. They never gave him any help. They never gave him anything around him. Not a top wide receiving threat, not a top offensive line. And that's the reason why he retired. And they're still searching for a quarterback, whether it was Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers. It has all been a disaster and downhill for this team. And it's not going to get any better until you address the most important position in the National Football League, whether you would like it or not. It's at quarterback. You either have one or you don't. And right now, the Colts don't have one.
Man, I love the passion between you guys. It's just absolutely great. You don't get this anywhere other than live on 1252 Sports, right here on the Over Under, where we're picking games giving opinions, reading comments,
Yeah.
and just having a really, really good time with
Love it.
with 3 goofballs right here. Get it? Goofballs.
Drew's
Absolutely
great.
love it.
Drew's great. He does a great job.
I heard that in the
JC
comments,
Allen
too.
says, "Sup, fellas." Josh, for those of you that don't know it, Mr. Joshua Cole Allen is the number 1 person over at Pewter Report. At least in my eyes, he is.
Well, besides Scott Reynolds. Yeah. But
I still
love
say JC Allen is. Anyway, Troy Polamalu says, "Is related to Hulk Hogan?" All right, brother.
Oh, God.
Blossom K says, "Need one more pick." Thank you, Blossom. I'm going to give them out here in just a little bit. Raymond Simber says,
Okay.
Things that make you go,
Troy Polamalu says, "Giselle just texted Ray to go to clear her toilets."
Clean her
Clean her toilets. I love it. That's about exactly what
She
happened.
probably pays well.
Yeah, true. Troy Polamalu says, "Claypool is a toxic diva. Glad we got rid of that clown."
Bazinga,
Tony
right there.
Williams says, "Morning, fellas. The Bears are going to tear it up today." Tony, I'm not too sure about that. We're going to get to those picks here in just a second, but we are going to talk about another game. You guys ready?
Yes,
Ready.
I'm ready.
Minnesota Vikings at the Commanders.
Ugh.
Not much to talk about. The Vikings are only a 3-point favorite at Washington, and the total's 43 points. So, is this a trap game? I'm going to go last. Peter, who do you like here and why? Minnesota's favored by 3.
Yeah, this may be a trap game because Taylor Heineke for the Commanders actually gives them a shot besides a Carson Wentz. But I'm on this Viking train at this point. I told you before the season they would be the top team in the NFC North, and I'm going to run with that train and the Minnesota Vikings.
Drew.
I'm agreeing with Peter there. I think the Vikings are going to win. I think they're going to win wholeheartedly, and I think that's way too small of a spread there. I'd be going for the Vikings all day long.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call trap games. But I'm going to fall right into that trap just like everybody else, okay? The Packers are only – I'm sorry, the Pack. Listen to me. Oh, God.
The Packers
suck.
suck. Remember the Vikings.
Wow.
Green Bay sucks. But anyway, -3, the Minnesota Vikings. Why can I talk? Minnesota's -3 points, and the total's 43. Defensive lineman Dalvin Tomlinson is out for Minnesota. Cornerback Cameron Dantzler, his neck, and Jalen Naylor's illness, he's out as well. Actually, he's questionable. For the Commanders, wide receiver Johan Dotson, hamstring. Cole Holcomb, linebacker David Mayo, and running back J.D. McKissick, they're out. Those are big losses, guys. Defensive end Shaka Toney, he's questionable. I don't know who to take in this game. It scares the absolute living breaks off of me because this line is just staring at you saying, boy, you're supposed to bet Minnesota. The gambling gods have bestowed upon us something very easy to go ahead and pick. Be very careful, tread lightly, bet Minnesota -3. But you know what I like even more?
Stop.
Bet the over 43 in this game.
Oh, yeah.
I have a funny feeling that Washington's finally going to put up some points. This is a bad football team, folks. But Minnesota's defense isn't that good. I actually like the over 43 than I like Minnesota winning by 3. So let's just go ahead and talk about that. Next game, we got the Raiders. Okay, the Las Vegas Raiders, who just went into New Orleans and absolutely laid a dud.
What the
They're
heck is that, by the
They're
way?
2.5-point favorites at the Jaguars, guys. Darren Waller has missed the last 2 games due to a hamstring injury and was limited participant all week long in practice, which is him officially listed as questionable for this matchup in Jacksonville. Head coach Josh McDaniels said Waller is working extremely hard to try to get back as soon as he can. Meanwhile, after being limited on Wednesday due to an illness, wide receiver Devontae Adams was a full participant finally on both Thursday and Friday and carries no designation whatsoever for this game. I'm going to repeat it. Drew, we're going to start with you. Raiders are 2.5-point favorites at the Jaguars. And by the way, the Jaguars only have 1 injury, Jamal Agnew. Take it away. Who do you like and why?
So it's funny. We were talking a minute ago about the Colts team there, perhaps making a change at coach and GM there. But, this is a really disappointing year for the Raiders. And I'm be shocked if McDaniels actually makes it next year the way they're playing right now. He might be crying back to Belichick. I got the Jaguars winning. I think they're going to win outright too.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going with you on this. I like the Jaguars in this game too because the Raiders, what they did last week versus the Saints, and then on top of it, I mean, were you really surprised that Josh McDaniels is not a good coach? He wasn't a good coach with the Broncos when they hired him. Anybody that coaches under a Bill Belichick really never has the same success they have under a Belichick. That's the reason why he's one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coach of all time. So is it really that surprising, the Raiders and their struggles? Yes, they have Davante Adams and Derek Carr. Jaguars win today.
I got to give an asterisk here real quick. There is one guy who has success so far, Brian Dable. Just saying.
Well, so far. So far.
I want to tell everybody to go to the Texas in this game, but I can't help it. Something's telling me that the Raiders are going to win this game, and they're going to win it big. Carr's too good of a quarterback. The defense can play a lot better, but it's going to be hot in Florida. Upset special 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to go ahead and give it. Take the Jacksonville Jaguars on the money line. Don't even bother taking the points. Jacksonville finally wins this game. This is a get-right game. There's something wrong with the Raiders, and I'm telling you right now, it's not pretty. Next game, the Seahawks are visiting the Cardinals. The surprising Seahawks. Geno Smith won't have speedy wide receiver Godwin at his disposal this week, as he was ruled out again with a groin injury. The Cardinals are just banged up, man. But I'll tell you what, man, I don't know which way to go with this game. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go first here. I love the Cardinals. Like I just told you, I didn't know which way to go with it. I do know which way to go with this. This string of luck for Seattle with Geno Smith playing. Sorry, guys. This defense playing way above their means. This offensive line and the running game, the way they're playing, it's coming to an end in Arizona in this game. I'm not a huge Arizona fan, but I love this matchup. One of my best picks of the week. Take the Cardinals minus the 1.5. And if you really want to get creative, play the under the 49. That's not the pick I'm going to give out, but if you have to play a parlay, take that as a two-teamer. Cardinals minus 1.5 and the under 49. Peter?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Cardinals in this game also, and I'll tell you why. Because like you said, Seattle has been somewhat of a story, somewhat luck there. They're playing well for their coach. But at the end of the day, you have Kyler Murray, you have DeAndre Hopkins. It's time for them to start to cook, if you will, a little Russell Wilson reference there. I like the Cardinals in a get-right game against the Seattle Seahawks.
Drew.
Well, obviously, I saw this team pretty close up here last week, so I'm going to go with the Seahawks. And I'll tell you this, a lot of people don't realize the defense in the first couple of games was absolutely horrendous for the Seahawks, and that's why they started off a little slow. In the month of October, they're ranked in the top 3 in DVOA for defense there. This is a defense that's all of a sudden cooking with some young players, and I really think they're going to show everybody here again against the Cardinals. They already did it a couple weeks ago, that they're legit.
Very interesting. All right, guys. Titans at the Chiefs. Tannehill was unable to practice in limited fashion again, but on Friday, he did. Head coach Mike Vrabel noted that the quarterback will be a game-time decision, guys. Really? You're kidding me. Peter.
Yes.
Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites. Totals 45 points. Who do you like?
I like the Chiefs, and I definitely like them to win outright at this point. I mean, besides Derrick Henry, what do the Tennessee Titans have? They definitely don't have a quarterback. You saw how Malik Willis played last week. He's not the answer, and if he's the future, the Titans have no future at this juncture, and they got no chance today versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Book it.
Andrew.
Yeah, Derrick Henry really is the deciding factor, and how well he plays will determine whether or not they go ahead and at least keep it somewhat close against the Chiefs. The Chiefs obviously going to win it, but I do think the Titans will go ahead and beat the spread there.
Absolutely. Kind of a little drum roll for me. Only kidding.
Oh, absolutely.
Ryan Tannehill is starting this game. Trust me, he's going to start this game. This is the entire season for Tennessee. They're not winning this game, but they are covering the spread. I do like the Chiefs to cover the points against probably the second best team in the National Football League, next to the Buffalo Bills. You heard it here. Kansas City is the second best team in the National Football League, and it's not even close. Well,
it was tough for you to say that because I know you weren't necessarily on that Buffalo Bills band.
No, I was not.
But I tell you right now, that defense is showing up. Von Miller is showing up, and Josh Allen continues his greatness to be, he's on that plane, if you will, that conversation of being one of the best young quarterbacks in the league if he isn't already. I think he's surpassed Justin Herbert this year.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to get back to the comments. We're going to get to the last two games I want to talk about. One of them being Tampa Bay, and the last but not least, we're going to talk about the Chicago game. Christian Shanafelt says, don't bring the nonsense, bring the knowledge, bring the passion. Did I do that right? Kinda. We're not going to go through it right now, but you'll hear it here in about 5 minutes. Everybody looks forward to that. Christian also says, and yes, I botched that on purpose. Christian, I want 20 Hail Marys and whatever the Catholics do. I have no idea. Hard Count Football, my brother, Mr. Jetman himself, the University of Syracuse, the man who makes everybody smarter, Mr. Jacob Charnow says, loving Patriots, Packers, and Dolphins today. Hard Count Football, he says, oh, and the Jets on the money line. Okay. Put the beard down. Listen,
I don't know about that.
Hold on. Jacob, I thought you said there was no partying. It was all about school.
Right.
Seriously, stop it.
Right.
Kevin D says, what is the over-under for when Josh McDaniels ends up back with the Patriots? You know what? I don't know. I don't know if they would allow him to come back again. That's for another subject, to be honest with you.
Who's running the offense right now?
Matt
Patricia and Joe Judge. Yeah, they'll welcome him back.
Of course they will.
Welcome him back.
I mean, that's the best opportunity for him. And if anything else, I always thought McDaniels was going to take over. I thought he was going to be the next coach of the New England Patriots when Bill Belichick decides to retire. But maybe it's a bloom has come off the rose, if you will.
Troy Polamalu says Belichick's the greatest cheater of all time. His staff has been caught recording other teams. The tape does not lie.
And neither do the statistics and also the wins at the end of the day. Yep. So give him credit. You can say whatever you want to about the cheating, and there's definitely a lot of that in his history. But to say he's not one of the greatest coaches of all time, you're being ridiculous, and this is what you get for being ridiculous.
Shut up!
Kevin D says, if Tannehill plays, take the Titans and the points. My sentiment exactly. And by the way, Jacob, excuse me, I do like the Jets today plus the points. I think it's too many points. It's a division game, and I think the Jets are going to come up big. Winning the game might be a little bit of a stretch because of some of the injuries. If they were fully healthy, this game wouldn't be 11.5, 12 points. This game would be probably Buffalo minus 6 to 7 points.
Agree.
That's why those two injuries right now are so significant. Let's move on to the next game. The Los Angeles Rams are at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Get this, guys. For the Rams, Allen and Jefferson are both questionable to play Sunday, but both players were limited participant in each of the last two practice sessions. The Rams injury reports does bring good news as star wideout Buccaneer killer Cooper Kupp does not carry a game designation in the weekend. He has been dealing with an ankle injury, but can finally return to full participant status on Friday. Also, running back Cam Akers may play this week after working through his issues with the team. I don't want to get into too many details, but I am going to read from the Buccaneer side of it. Gage and Gadecki were ruled out after not practicing all week. As far as Brate, he was limited participant all week, but is actually healthy enough to go. Winfield is still working back from a concussion, although he was limited on Thursday and Friday. He will not play. Akeem Hicks may return this week despite his foot injury. In code, that means he's going to play. That means he's healthy. But he also sat out Friday. He's questionable to play. As far as Davis and Murphy Bunton, while they are questionable to play, both were full participants in practice on Friday. Andrew, the Bucs are 3-point favorites at home. Let me mind everybody. When this game originally opened up, it was a pick'em game. In this game, as the money kept coming in, everybody kept favoring the Bucs. Andrew, Tampa Bay -3 or the Rams +3, and the grand total. Let me go ahead and clear my throat. 42. Drew, who do you like and why?
It's the 2022 Disappointment Bowl, the Disappointment Bowl. So I'm going to go with the Rams here to win. And I think it's going to be over. I do think we're going to get some points on the board finally for Tampa Bay even, but I do think that the Rams are going to outplay them.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, this features two of the teams that have been the most disappointing in 2022. One, a Super Bowl champion, and another, 2 years removed from being a Super Bowl champion. Both teams can't rush the ball, some of the lowest in the National Football League, but this is a get-right game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a must-win game. It is going to be under. It is going to be a defensive battle. It's going to feature Devin White. He's going to step up today. I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a field goal.
Well, very, very good points. We got one for Tampa, laying the points. and you have one taking the points in the Rams. Actually, Andrew says he likes them on the money line because he thinks he's going to beat they're going to beat the Buccaneers straight out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you my keys to the game. If Tampa decides they want to run the ball 25 times in this game, that means they have control in the game. The game's probably going to go under. But seeing how Tampa cannot run the ball 25 times in the game because they're very stubborn in their coaching staff and their play calling, for some reason, I have no idea why, when they have 2 stud running backs and a very hurt and injured, depleted offensive line, that would usually beg a team to go ahead and run the football like a team in Chicago does, or like a team in Washington does, or even Tennessee. Teams that are desperate to win right now run the football so that the quarterback can stay upright. And who knows, then the play action pass is going to work. But the Rams have looked absolutely horrible, man. I like the Buccaneers -3 here. I don't know what to do with the total. They're trying to give you a layup, ladies and gentlemen, to play the over, because let me tell you something. If this was last year, this total would have been 53 to 55 points.
Yeah.
This is almost 2 touchdown difference. And there's a reason for it, because both offenses have been anemic lately. Absolutely anemic. And it's a shame because both of these teams are prolific, high-powered offenses that can play defense. I like Tampa at home just because they're at home. Let me get that straight. Just because they're at home is why I like Tampa in this game. On a neutral field, I don't think people would really like to know my actual opinion on this. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but
well, the
I like
Rams
Tampa
really,
-3.
I mean, they got Cooper Kupp, and he's been a buck killer, but the Bucs at the end of the day are also getting healthy at the right time. You get Carlton Davis back, you got Sean Murphy-Bunting, and even though you're missing Antoine Winfield, you're getting healthy in that back end. And then on top of it, if you add in Akeem Hicks to that defensive line, we know that line changes. Also, a key statistics, the Rams give up 80% completion percentage when teams go past play action. So if the Bucs can establish that run game, we know that Tom Brady can go past play action. The key is the Bucs are the 3rd lowest team in the National Football League when they go past play action, which makes no sense at all. You don't necessarily have to run the ball in order to develop that pass play action. So hopefully the Bucs do go past play action on first down instead of running the ball on first down, because I think they'll have some success versus the Rams defense.
I don't know. What do you say, Andrew?
You know, I think it's going to be one of those games that it really is a toss-up game because, like you said, we got both teams that are really disappointing, and it's a matter of which one of the offenses gets right. And I just think having Cooper healthy, hopefully, finally for them at that point, and also, you know, they might have a little bit of addition to the running game here since they got Cam Akers came back to the team this week, I heard as well, since he didn't get traded. So, you know, it's a matter of getting it right at the right time, and you know, going against a team that's got the inner turmoil we talked about here the last couple of weeks. You know, I think it's just time for the Rams to finally get some stuff together here.
And the problem with the Rams, they got a bad offensive line. They got a worse offensive line than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So this may be a feast for this defensive line today. Once again, going back to the Hicks injury. If he's back there, that defensive line is different. I get it. You're missing Shaq Barrett. It's time for an Anthony Nelson, a Carl Nassib to step up, and a JTS to step up. So to me, this could be a game where Matt Stafford could be under a lot of duress. And I think the Bucs, talk about whatever you want to with this offensive line, they're going to have a matchup with Aaron Donald. But besides Donald, what else do the Rams have defensively?
Well, that's a great question. Let me go ahead and take that. You know, you still have Aaron Donald.
Right.
And you still have the toasted biscuit in the back. What's his name?
Jalen Ramsey.
There you go.
You're making points.
Okay, but no, listen, guys, seriously. The Bucs offense is pretty anemic right now. This is not the same offense, and they have 0 tight end play. 0. And this is where the Buccaneers have succeeded the past couple of years with Tom Brady under center. It's just like baseball. If you're really strong up the middle from catcher, pitcher, second baseman, and center fielder, you're going to be fine. In this case, it's running back, center, and tight ends. It's not the wide receivers. The wide receiver play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has been extraordinary because of the play of the tight ends and the way they've protected Brady or given him that avenue to go ahead and catch the ball up the middle. The only thing that Brady has lacked in Tampa Bay that he had, without question, far better in New England, was a receiving running back. And now the Bucs do none of this. They don't throw to the tight ends because they're inept at this point, quite frankly. They still refuse to throw to the running backs because they're afraid that Fournette, who's usually very sure-handed at catching a football, doesn't catch it. So where do you go from there? Now you're spreading your team out wide and playing the chuck and duck. Like I told everybody on your show, Peter, and on your platform, if you really wish that Todd Bowles was not the head coach of this football team and Bruce Arians was, you'd have one less win. And the reason why I'm saying that is they won that game. They ran the ball 50% of the times. That never would have happened under BA's tenure in the regular season. It's never happened before. It only happened in the Super Bowl, if you want to really remember that correctly. You do remember that, right, Pete?
Yeah, I remember that. But I tend to disagree with you because I think if BA were still the coach of this team, some of the internal mess wouldn't be going on. He would be firing this team up. You wouldn't have lack of effort. So
you'd still have injuries, though, Peter.
Well, you may have injuries, but you also have a team that's played for BA, and this team the last couple of years has gone through their injury situation. They went through it last year and still played a lot better than what they're playing right now. So I tend to disagree. I think BA was a lot more. He was a lot more of the attitude, a lot more of what this identity of this team was. And you're exactly right. They have to run the ball more, but they also have to do the little things, which means you have to have effort. That's not even a little thing. That's a big thing. You have to have effort by your defenders at the end of the day, namely Devin White. And of course, it comes back to offense. Your offense and Tom Brady. Can Tom Brady turn it around? Because he necessarily hasn't played his best football. And he knows that. And he's talked about it. And he's been accountable for it. He was accountable for it in his podcast this week, where there were other things on his mind. We're all human beings. We know that those things are on his mind and in the back of the mind. He has to step up today, because if you don't, you're looking at 3-6 and possibly 2 games out of this division lead. And then on top of it, you chalk up another NFC loss. So that takes you out of playoff seeding. So this is a must-win game. You have to win at home. You have to beat the Rams. And the Bucs have struggled versus the Rams the last couple of years. So there's a challenge.
Let me ask you a question, and this doesn't require nothing other than a one-word answer. Andrew, when you go to work, do you have things on your mind?
Of course.
Peter, when you go to work and you're on the phones, do you have something on your mind also?
Yes.
Guess what? So do I. And guess what? We still all have to perform.
Yep. And I'll say
whether you're going through a divorce, and I love to joke about the witchcraft not being there because Giselle's a white witch and she took it all away. You know, I do like to go ahead and throw a little puns at it. Those are excuses. Those are excuses. I like the Bucs in this game -3 because they're at home. But everything that I'm hearing are excuses. It's not about just being accountable. It's about the gotta wanna. You know what the gotta want it means? You got to want it. I just make it all one word, almost like a pork roll, egg and cheese.
Talked about it. He talked about it a couple weeks ago, Harry, about a month ago, that some players on this team are still living off their Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see those players today if they're still living off that Super Bowl at the end of the day. And that's what this attitude of this team has been. It's been Devin White saying, I'm bored. Well, that's a bad optic. Whether you're bored or not, it's a bad thing to say, because basically your defense looks bored on the field. They're not the same defense that's stopping the run and getting after the quarterback consistently enough. They're not doing enough of that. So it does look bored, and it looks like they are resting on their laurels from their Super Bowl win.
It can be. Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, basically the team just seems to lack motivation is the problem, which does go to the head coach. I don't think Arians is necessarily the cure, though, because of the fact that he's already stepped down. He's already walked away from the team, basically. I just don't think Todd Bowles was the right decision. Not that I'm saying Leftwich was either, but maybe an outside coach would have been a better option.
Okay, well, that's a great point, because right now hindsight is 20/20. I so happen to like Todd Bowles. And I've been very critical of this coaching staff for 3 years now. Peter, you know it. I am not a Bruce Arians supporter. Never have been, never will be. Don't believe in his coaching philosophy in regards to his game plan. Now, a leader of men, I will give it to him. And I think that outweighs what his game plan is, because I don't like his game plan. I do not like a game plan that consists of 80% chuck and duck to football. They threw the ball down the middle of the field and long, deep passes more than anybody in football consistently for his tenure being a head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it has proven time and time and time again that is not how you win football games, even though they won a Super Bowl. And my point is this. Wait a minute. They ran the ball for more yards than they caught the ball in the playoffs. It was much more balanced in the playoffs. So someone's got to explain this to me. Why is everybody clamoring for Bruce Arians to be the head coach of this team? I'm telling you right now in front of your audience, my audience, and everybody else out there, this team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, would have one less win because of Bruce Arians and his belief of not wanting to run the football. Prove me wrong.
Well, I'll prove you wrong, because 2019 they wanted to throw the ball, and they were somewhat successful, even though Winston had lots of turnovers. They were one of the top 5 offenses in the National Football League. In 2020, they were a top 5 offense in the National Football League. Last year, they were a top 5 offense in the National Football League. I'm not ready to crown Byron Leftwich the reason for all that. That's BA. That's the reason why you want it. You see this offense. Todd Bowles, what did he do with the New York Jets? Did he ever have a great offense? Is he just a coordinator at this juncture? Why would you love Todd Bowles? Because he wants to run the ball? I get it. You want to be balanced, but at the end of the day, your offense has basically suffered. You could talk about injuries all you want to, but if BA were the coach of this team, more than likely, because of what the stats show the last couple years, you would have a top 5 offense in the National Football League. How can you even sit here and say Todd Bowles is a great coach when you have Tom Brady, when you have Mike Evans, when you have Chris Godwin, when you have Julio Jones, when you have all these wide receivers and all these weapons, and you're not a top 5 offense? Who is that on?
The offensive line and play calling.
Okay,
I'll take this one.
okay.
Here's your offensive line, the lack of it, and your play calling. When the offensive line is busted up and busted down, what do you do best? You run the football because you can't protect a 45-year-old quarterback.
Well, this team's never been able to run the ball. And
Brady's never wanted to get hit. That's been his thing his whole career. He never wants to get hit. And if you get him hit a couple of times, he hears footsteps. The one way to try to stop Brady, and take it from a Giant fan to beat him twice in the Super Bowl, you get a couple hits on him. Because once he hears that footsteps, he's not the same guy.
But this team suffered offensive line woes. They had their injuries, and they're still able to be a top 5, top 10 offense. So at the end of the day, this is on coaching. This is on getting your team ready and prepared to play. This is on getting the most out of your team. This is going to
I have to agree.
Captain.
That's
Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles has been that. He's been that ever since he was a Jets coach.
I
get
love
what you get.
The passion. I love the
you
passion
get.
because everybody,
coach of the year, a Super Bowl champion. Of course, you're gonna miss him.
Peter. Everybody has a valid point here. Everybody does. But what came first, the chicken or the egg? We could take up a 2 or 3 hour segment talking about where the blame lies.
All I know is, Peter, wherever you get your coffee from,
thank you.
let me know, please.
It does like his coffee.
This man is woke.
In 3 minutes, we have another special guest coming on. We're going to go ahead and extend the show a little bit longer, go through a couple of more picks. Plus, I absolutely love when this young man does come on with us. He's already texted me and says, please stay on, because he wants to go ahead and join out the fun a little bit more. So we're going to go back to the comments really quick. And Kevin D says the Bucs get an ugly win. I kind of agree with you. Troy Polamalu at Pittsburgh says BA was a real no-nonsense coach. Bowl and Sandwich are stooges. Okay. Kyle Nichol says this is a must-win game for Tampa. Kyle, thank you so much for joining in. Rob Donnelly says Tom Brady also lost the locker room. I've heard this too, Peter.
Well,
I've heard this too, and that's a very strong possibility. If that has happened, that'll be the first time in that man's 20-plus year career, an illustrious career, to ever lose a locker room.
And shame on that locker room if he lost that locker room, because at the end of the day, he is the greatest of all time. And I get it, the off-the-field stuff, missing this and that and the other thing, and that's why I started out my diatribe to this morning about how he came out and tweeted at Devin White, how we got your back, we got your support. That may be a big thing that turns this locker room around, because I've heard the same thing. But shame on this locker room, because, again, just 2 years removed from being a Super Bowl champion. What the hell have you guys done as a locker room besides when Tom Brady came here? Shame on you. How could you not believe in this man? How could you not believe in him?
So 2 points.
I will tell you, go ahead, Drew.
I was going to say, first, shout out to Rob. That's actually the other fellow goofball from the Two Giant Goofballs there.
Rob.
So, second thing I got to say is, also shame on Tom Brady. When you want to take off Wednesdays and all these kind of things, but be the leader of the team. I'm sorry. You're either full-time or you're not.
I don't think
Rob,
he called for that. I think the organization.
Hold on. Rob, sorry I didn't remember who you are, but I promise you next week I want you on this show. We're going to bring you in for a little session. We're going to be kind of goofy too. You get what I'm saying? But wait, Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, smartest man in the room's coming in to play a little bit. Mr. Jacob Charnoff from the Heart Count Football Podcast. Jacob, how's life in Syracuse, brother?
It's still hot. It's still really hot here.
What is it, 55?
No, man. Yesterday it was like 75 yesterday. It's 76 today. It's going to get up to 77
That's cold.
in November.
In November. Jacob, we're in a little bit of a debate here. Of course, we're talking Buccaneers and what came first, the chicken or the egg. I would love to hear your input. Why are the Buccaneers having problems? Can you name just one thing that's happening? Is it the offensive line? Is it someone saying that they were bored? Is it Tom Brady missing, the week prior or going out with Robert Kraft a game before a walkthrough? Is it because of head coaching? Is it, I don't know. What is it? We'd love to hear what you think it is.
All right. Well, I talked about this on Peter's show a little bit last week. I think that this is a mix of a lot of people's faults, which is not the answer you were looking for. But if I were to pinpoint it on someone right now that would be an entertaining person dependent on, I'd have to say it's Tom Brady, because I mean, you look at what Brady's done. Brady, and this was the analogy that I talked about on Peter's show, was if I'm a backup on the Bucs, right? No matter what the position is, if I'm a backup and I'm showing up every single day, putting the work in, working my ass off to try and get a roster spot, to try and help this team win, no matter whether it's on the offense, defense, special teams, whether it's, watching film, helping someone on the iPad, whatever it is. And my leader on that team is not showing up to practice. I don't care what he's done in the past. If he's not showing up to practice and showing that he's not all in, he might as well not be on the team. Because how could I respect that leader? I don't understand. And Todd Bowles doesn't have a loud enough voice in that locker room to lead this team. He's relying on Brady. And if Brady's not showing up on Wednesdays, what the hell are we doing here?
And
Peter, he's got a point.
And and Jacob definitely has a point, and that's the reason why you would have more wins with BA, because BA has called out Brady in the past, and BA would be able to rectify this locker room with his voice to hold these players accountable. Todd Bowles can't do that, has never done that, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do that. It's going to be on the players at the end of the day. They're going to have to buy in or they're going to have to get out, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to turn it around, but they're going to have a great opportunity today versus the Rams. That's the reason why a BA with a head coach of this team, they would have more wins than what they have right now.
But see, this is what happens every time a team loses a coach that won a Super Bowl for that team. You don't win, or you go through a little bit of a bad stretch and you go, hold on, if we only had this guy back, we won a ring with him. And the point of it's a mixture of all the problems we've mentioned. It's the offensive line. It's Brady. It's Todd Bowles. It's all these things put together. It's not on one person or one idea that's causing the issues here. So
my question is, did you have these type of problems when BA was the head coach?
No, but you also had a healthy offensive line back then. You had a little bit of younger Brady that was more involved and was there on Wednesdays.
I'm not ready to say that. You had the injuries. You had your fair share of injuries to your running back. I mean, that's why Leonard Fournette went off in the postseason. Ronald Jones was the main guy at the end of the day. And then once Jones got hurt, Leonard Fournette stepped up. Leonard Fournette was that close to being cut on this team. You had your fair share drama. You had Antonio Brown on this team. You had Rob Gronkowski on this team. You had your fair share of personalities, but the difference is it is the coaching.
You had Gronk, who's a better blocker than all the tight ends you guys have now, and you had a healthy offensive line. That's what I was saying specifically. You had a healthy offensive line. But you also
had your fair share of injuries, and you also had players playing for BA. They're not doing the same thing for Todd Bowles because he doesn't have, as the kids would say, that street cred. He doesn't have that that voice in that locker room, because if he did, some of the stuff that's going on right now with this team wouldn't be going on. It didn't happen with BA. And when he was the head coach, and now it's happening. Why? Coaching. It is going back to coaching.
Let's hear what Jacob wants to say. Fellow Jersey boy there. Going the wrong way.
Sir.
Down. Which way? Oh, every way I go is going the wrong way. There we go.
Oh, hold on. There you go. Right there.
There we go.
I'll say this because, you make a good point. Both of you make good points with the fact that, this offensive line is not healthy this year. And they don't have Gronk. They don't have that sort of blocking tight end. It doesn't matter. And last year we were talking about, could Byron Leftwich be any worse? Yeah, he got worse this year. I don't know how it's possible, but he did. He got worse because I don't care no matter how bad your offensive line is. I don't care how good your tight ends can block. If you're not even trying to run the football, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because I don't care if you're getting 1, 2, 3 yards a gain with Leonard Fournette, no matter what it is.
You keep running the ball.
You have to keep those linebackers true. If you let them play off, you're not going to be able to have any sort of passing game. You have to make them move up a little bit. You have to have that sort of, even the idea that the running game is a threat, because it's not like they don't have the talent in the backfield to do it. It's this coaching staff refuses to run the damn football, and I don't know why.
It's coaching. It goes back to coaching because he had the injuries last year with this team, and they still won 13 games with BA. That's the point. That is the major loss. You can talk about Gronk, Antonio Brown, having an offensive line, but even with the injury situation last year, you had BA who was able to settle everything down and put everything in check. If BA were still the coach, he would be having they would have a better record than what you have.
We're going to switch gears here just for a minute. We're going to go back to the comments. We're going to talk about the last game, and then we're going to do a little roundtable thing. Maybe some people may have some questions for the Greek. You can go ahead and post a comment, or maybe someone for the panel. We'll go ahead and read it live on the air. Rob Donnelly says 100%. Rob, and how do you shut down Brady? Well, we already started. There you go.
Let this coaching staff do what they do. It's not you. They shut down Brady enough.
Yeah.
Roger Shue says that shirt is horrible. Roger,
Ooh.
Hold on a second.
Shut up!
Sorry, man.
Rob Donnelly says injuries were not on the O-line.
They were on the O-line.
Big time.
You lose an All-Pro guard in Ali Marpet. You lose an All-Pro in Ryan Jensen. I mean, what the hell are you talking about?
He's saying the last year.
You had offensive line problem. You had line problems there too. You had Ali Marpet.
Do we forget that Donovan Smith forgot how to play left tackle for like 9 weeks of the year last year? Like
Donovan Smith has given up the cheeks more than any left tackle in the National Football League because of two things: not running the football and efficient tight end play for people to go ahead and protect on the left side.
Yeah.
And by the way, Donovan Smith has the same problem that 95% of the left tackles in football have. The difference is the coaching staff usually accounts to protect the blind side of the quarterback. Listen, you're not going to do it with a left tackle.
And
sorry.
to that point, Ali Marpet is like the deodorant of this offensive line. He covered up a lot of that stuff that Donovan Smith did. They had that chemistry together. And a lot of people said, well, losing an Ali Marpet's not a big deal. Yeah, it is. And it shows because Donovan Smith's game has fallen apart.
Look at what the Jets, I mean, this is only because it's the team I've watched the closest, but look at what the Jets have done. The Jets are on their like 5th string left tackle. And what are they doing? They have a good blocking running back against teams that are rushing 4. Why is Leonard Fournette not chipping the edge? Why is he not doing that? It makes no sense. You're giving up, I promise you, 3-4 more sacks a game because you're not doing that. Because you're having Rashad White run a wheel route. It's stupid. I don't understand it. You're watching this team, and it's like they're playing high school football.
It's because you can't say the word chip to Frenetic. It's very distracted.
Kevin D says BA was a CEO. Bowles is not. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are finding out what karma's double-edged sword. You know what? Good point. Rob, prior years, so that he was correcting himself. And Rob Donnelly says not this year. Drew does speak, Rob Donnelly.
But to that point with the offensive line injuries, the Bucs have had their fair share of offensive line injuries. Even their Super Bowl year, Ali Marpet was out of that game, and who could forget that Ronald Jones goes for 98 yards with A.Q. Shipley at the left guard spot. So don't give me this whole nonsense that the Bucs haven't had their offensive line injuries and they haven't performed. They still have performed up to snuff. All right, it's the National Football League. It means not for long, next man up. So enough with the offensive line. That's the reason why this team, it's coaching. Coaching is the biggest thing, in my opinion, with this team.
No disrespect to my boy A.Q. Shipley. That's he's a dog.
He's a dog, and he was the next man up. He stepped up.
You're right. I love it.
Right. I mean, Donovan Smith, even that Super Bowl year, was out.
To that point about Todd Bowles, though, to that Kevin commented here about Todd Bowles not being a CEO. What were the Bucs relying on? The Bucs saw Todd Bowles in New York. In New York, the city where you have to have that sort of attitude to be a head coach. They have two perfect head coaches right now, Brian Daboll, Robert Saleh. Those are two guys who are New York football coaches. Todd Bowles just didn't fit that. They were relying on Tom Brady to step up and continue being. He's not showing up to practice on Wednesdays. You know, it's to that point that Tom Brady doesn't seem like he's all in this year. And I get he has other stuff going on in his life, as we've seen. But guess what? You got, you know, however many other guys between this roster, practice squad, and front office and this coaching staff that want to win a Super Bowl. And I promise you that Tom Brady's not the only guy with stuff going on in his life on this team.
And
It's not going on anymore for Tom Brady. So
Chris Cole says this is a good quote, not quote, but a good comment. Worst didn't play in the playoffs against the Rams, and it showed.
Right.
Thanks for the comment.
They had the first three quarters, but remember the fourth quarter, Christopher, they came back. So, yes, if they have Wirfs in that game, they probably win it. And, of course, if you have another wide receiver, namely a Chris Godwin or an Antonio Brown, you could beat the Rams team. So, again, this team has had their fair share of injuries in the past, but the difference is the coaching has been able to rectify it and been able to get the most out of the players. Todd Bowles doesn't do that and has never done that. And you know, the ironic thing is what you hear is Brady was the one that forced out BA, that they had some disagreement. Maybe that
there was some truth to that, Peter.
Maybe it's a good thing to have disagreement. You know, we kind of looked into it in the annals of time with Bill Belichick, how he can rein in Brady. And now Brady has come down here and he said everything given to him. Maybe a little disagreement in his life is good. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not just all coaching and Byron Leftwich. Maybe it's Tom Brady calling these plays. And
we're disagreement at home, okay?
There could be. Meanwhile,
yes.
What came first, ladies and gentlemen, the chicken or the egg? I'm going to say
chicken.
Everybody has a valid point, but we have another game to talk about.
Okay.
We got the Miami Dolphins swimming their way all the way upriver to the Chicago Bears. Ready? The entire club for Chicago is absolutely healthy as Eddie Jackson and Tevin Jenkins were among the players who practiced fully on Friday and carried no designation. Right tackle Larry Borum, concussion, also practiced fully and is good to go on Sunday. Chicago's also activating left guard Cody Whitehair finally. This is an offensive line that's now starting to come up to snuff. He had an MCL and he's off the injured reserve and he could be in line to start. What are your thoughts, Andrew?
So I think the big question is, can Chicago keep up with the Dolphins as far as the scoring at points? And I don't think they can. And I think now, you know, obviously losing, you know, to trades the last couple weeks here, you know, two of their better players, that defense, I think, is going to get torn apart. I really do. I think the Dolphins are going to win big. Guys,
this is my game of the week. I'm going to go ahead and give that pick out a little later. Peter, by the way, and I didn't even say it, the Dolphins are only a 4-point favorite. And the total's 45.5 points. Peter, who do you like and why?
Take the Dolphins all day long. This is one of the most explosive and dynamic offenses in the league. And anybody talking about Tua like I was at the beginning of the year, stop that nonsense because he's definitely played a lot better. And having a Tyreek Hill, a Jalen Waddle, one of the most dynamic wide receiving threats out there in the National Football League, this could be a long day if you're a Chicago Bear fan.
Jacob.
I agree. I like the Dolphins, but I know Harry's going to come in here and say this whole Chicago team is healthy. Watch out for the Bears. Watch out for Jay Fields. Watch out for all these guys. And I do think Justin Fields is coming into his own a little bit in this offense. We've seen it the last couple weeks, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the Dolphins today. I'll take the Dolphins -4.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are all really, really good opinions. Chase Claypool is going to get some playing time today. And N'Keal Harry, who I am thinking is going to be the best acquisition, even more so than Chase Claypool. Okay? Let me go out there on a limb and saying it because you now have two wide receivers that are 50-50 play guys. And now you're going to end up putting Darnell Mooney right where he belongs. It's called the slot. You're going to get better tight end play. The running game's really solid right now. With that two-headed monster, the offensive line is starting to play, dare I say it, a lot better, almost like they have an offensive line. Justin Fields starting to learn how to play the quarterback position a little bit more, and I think the game is starting to slow down for him. Let's talk about the defense. No Khalil Mack, no Robert Quinn, no Roquan Smith. That front seven couldn't get after anybody if they tried. However, that secondary, still playing very, very well. young kid Gordon's been getting toasted, but you know what? Haven't had to hear his name the past 3 weeks, have you? He's tightened up his game dramatically. Even with a good secondary, when you can't get pressure on the quarterback, it's very difficult to cover wide receivers. Look for a high-scoring affair on both teams. Chicago has 0 chance in this game. It's my game of the week. The Miami Dolphins win this game by 10 or more. Absolutely should destroy this team in Chicago. This is a get-right game for the Miami Dolphins. No, I'm not sitting here telling you because I am a huge Chicago Bear fan. I'm also a realist. And this is what people watch this show for. It's because not only just the entertainment, but to get solid picks to go ahead and make some money. I have personally made this my game of the week. I cannot believe they're only -4. I'm really sorry, Chicago fans. I'm sorry, 1252. You guys want to throw me off, do whatever you got to do. But you brought me on this platform for a reason. It's about handicapping and giving honest assessments. They have 0 chance in this game. I hope I'm wrong, but I doubt it. Any comments?
No, I think you're right. I think the pick I like in this game, I like 2 picks. I like the Dolphins and I like the over.
Andrew?
Yeah, I'm with Jacob on there. I think honestly, I think the over might just be the Dolphins even by themselves at this point. That's how big I think they're going to run the score on you guys.
Peter?
Yeah, salute to the Chicago Bears. They finally get a weapon for Justin Fields and a Chase Claypool, and we'll see how this dynamic works out because Claypool has all the tools to really, do some big type of things there. Size, speed. He just has to get his attitude in check, and I love the back end of the Chicago Bear team. Brisker has definitely warranted that.
Jaquan Brisker. Listen, guys, I don't think that Chase Claypool is as good as what people are saying. However, in this offense, he's going to flourish. Not so much from a catching standpoint. I think he's going to get his fair share of balls. However, with that being said, man, you got those 2 really big-bodied receivers. They are going to run this football, whether with the 2 running backs or with Justin Fields running around the edges. I mean, nobody can deny that. Yeah. I mean, you have another scenario where you now have Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall out there, 2 big-bodied receivers. Hold on, I'm not comparing them as far as catching footballs, okay? I'm talking about both of those wide receivers in Jeffries and Marshall were 2 of the best blocking wide receivers ever to play for the Chicago Bears, okay? They could block really well, okay? Now, no one ever said that N'Keal Harry nor Chase Claypool couldn't develop into good pass-catching receivers. I'll tell you what, the last 2 games I've watched on N'Keal Harry, you guys, his route running has been absolutely spot on, okay? Spot on. Yeah. Most wide receivers that can't catch a ball, it's because they can't run good routes. Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of jumped the gun on this Claypool thing. I'll say that. I think Claypool was a fine addition. I think you paid way too much for him.
Yep.
That's like he's talented and he'll be fine. He's not going to be that wide receiver 1 that you guys still are looking for, but he'll be okay. The problem is that did you see Chase Claypool throw last week? You see him throw that touchdown? He might, he might get some reps at quarterback if Justin Fields doesn't pan out.
I will tell you this: I think a 2nd-round pick for a big body wide receiver who has speed and
I don't think they give up too much for him.
Way too much. Way too much.
In fact,
I just sat there and beat up on this team. Okay, let me.
Amari Cooper just got traded from team.
Are you rebuilding or what?
Trash. Hold on, guys. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Okay. Let me get that right out there.
But you paid treasure price for him.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily.
A 2nd-round pick for Chase Claypool coming out of Notre Dame. He was.
You may think they overpaid for him.
Though.
This was a very well needed position.
Right.
Okay. Very, very, very well needed. Nobody knows what this management is trying to do, nor this coaching staff, and the way they're trying to develop and build this team. They're not looking for the 4-1 speed guy that's going to catch 100 balls in the course of the year because they're not set up this way. Justin Fields will never be that quarterback. He's going to be a little bit of a better passer than, dare I say, Lamar Jackson. Okay? Now, you don't have any super studs sitting down there in Baltimore. That's not what they're designed to do. You're going to have – I'll tell you what. Next year, I think your most reception is going to be 60 to 70 catches. Would that be acceptable for Chase Claypool, right around 1,000 yards?
Absolutely.
Would it be?
Absolutely.
See, here's the problem I have with Chase Claypool. You're talking about, some of the receivers the Steelers lost in the last couple of years and let go. Let's look at Antonio Brown for a minute. Antonio Brown is a train wreck of a human being, but Mike Tomlin kept him in check for how many years? So when Mike Tomlin says, let this guy go, that should tell you something.
I'll say this. I'll like, the thing is, Chicago passed on George Pickens in the draft. You could have used that second round pick last year on him. Now you come into next year. Is Chase Claypool? I don't know what they're doing. Are they trying to get him to be this like development guy? That AJ Brown for him. That
no different when N'Keal Harry is.
So why would you not take that second rounder in next year's draft, which is much more receiver heavy, and spend that pick on one of them? Are you trying to? Aren't you guys trying to lose out this year? How are you not trying to lose for a draft pick? This isn't a year to win. Now you're giving up a premium option, a premium
top
pick.
40 pick.
A second round pick in today's NFL is a premium level pick. It is
without question. But I will tell you this: are they
by
trying
the way,
to lose out? Hold on, time out.
Claypool was a second round pick.
Yes, he was.
Okay,
The
so
Steelers got
second round pick for a wide receiver that again has the potential. And I understand where Drew's coming from, where the Steelers usually, don't give up on players like they keep Antonio Brown. But I think this organization has just had enough of him. It doesn't necessarily mean he can't flourish somewhere else. It doesn't mean that.
I just think that, every offseason there's these wide receivers that become available that are looking for new deals. And I think that if you truly wanted to get that X factor wide receiver, you could have used that second round pick in a deal for him for whoever it is in the offseason when you're trying to come out winning next year.
Another valid point from all three of you guys, but I'm going to say it again. This is not the way this offense is going to be developed. It isn't.
Sure.
They're not looking for that Tyreek Hill. They have a version of Tyreek Hill on this roster. And by the way, would have probably arguably one of the better seasons in the National Football League if he was playing with a Patrick Mahomes. Okay? Let's just throw that out there. They are looking for the big body receivers that can catch 50-50 passes and who can run block, because this is the way this team is going to be developing. They are going to run the football. And by the way, Jacob, you made a comment. Aren't they trying to lose out the rest of the year? I don't know. You better tell this team that, because last week when they played Dallas in the first four drives, Dallas scored. Hold on. They scored 4 touchdowns. And you know what? Chicago stayed true to their roots and they kept running the football. And they were down 28-0, and they came back within 4 and then a couple of stupid mistakes. And then Dallas ended up winning by 20 points. This team has got 0 quit in them. 0. That's what I'm looking for. Unfortunately, in this week, they can have no quit at all, but it isn't going to make a difference. They're just so outmatched. It's not even funny.
Harry, you're right, but I'll say that the players never try and lose. They'll never try and lose games. It makes no sense. It's management, and management now brings in more help for this team to try and win these games. And that if they brought him in for a 4th or a 5th round pick, I'd be here praising Ryan Poles. But the fact that they spent a 2nd round pick on a receiver who really hasn't done anything this year to show me that he's worth that 2nd rounder, a guy who they just had to replace in Pittsburgh, I don't love it. I don't love it. Will he make a difference in this offense? We'll see, but still, the Eagles' offense will be run, I think, very similarly to how the Chicago offense is run, or vice versa. And AJ Brown made a huge difference in that offense, because now you add even another threat to add on to Justin Fields' ability to run the football.
By middle of next year, I have a poll question for everybody that's watching, including the panel. For the Chicago Bears, of the 2 wide receivers, leaving Darnell Mooney out of the equation, who I think is going to be probably the guy who's going to have the most yards and the most catches next year in running through the slot. But between Chase Claypool or N'Keal Harry, and if you had a choice, who do you think is going to be the better receiver next year? I'll start with Pete.
Claypool, beyond a shadow of a doubt. He's got the most potential. He's shown flashes of brilliance. I like the move. Again, I like the change of scenery. I think they can come up with something here with Justin Fields and the Claypool to develop that chemistry, not only in this season, but also in the offseason. I like Claypool's chances.
Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I think Claypool is definitely the better of the 2. I mean, but it just doesn't change the fact that you guys overpaid for Claypool still in the end.
Turbo, who do you like?
I mean,
nobody? No. What, really?
He
likes Jacob.
He said N'Keal Harry.
He
what
said
he
N'Keal Harry. That's
Yeah.
what I thought he was saying. Who am I
Yeah.
missing?
It's
Jacob.
me. Yeah, I'll go Claypool. Claypool he's better than N'Keal Harry, and it's funny that N'Keal Harry was even like that. I don't know. It feels like the Bears really only got Chase Claypool so the Packers couldn't get him, and that's why they spent the second round pick on him. But
I still love it. Oh, by the way, it's kind of therapeutic. Can you
it's
say it along
hilarious.
with
It's
us?
hilarious.
Wow,
Ready?
wow, 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 wow.
Green
Bay.
Bay sucks.
Yes.
That felt pretty good, didn't it, Jacob?
Is my team the best team on this panel? Is my team
Right now, record-wise, I mean, it definitely looks that way. By the way,
Oh god, that's
wait,
good.
wait. What team we talking now?
well, the Giants, yes, the
God.
Giants.
Thanks, Turbo. Appreciate it. Just make
No, you
yourself
got the wrong New
comfortable,
York
buddy.
team. That's supposed to be blue.
No,
Not green.
oh,
Not green.
oh, that's where we are. That's where we are.
Well,
6
I'll
and
tell
2.
you-
6 and 2.
I'll
Fine.
tell you right now, we'll see if they can continue with the
I'm going to have to side with Jacob on this one. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I really,
Wow.
I'm
Who
just
had
telling
the
you.
worst
I think
quarterback?
they're.
I think that's the
I
proper
think they're a
question.
more complete team right now. I really do.
Who's the worst quarterback on this panel? Is it
We
Zach
have the worst quarterback.
or is it Daniel
Who?
Jones?
Who
We
does?
have the worst quarterback. We have the better team. That's what I'll say.
Whoa.
And I think both teams are not going anywhere with the quarterback play. If the quarterback play continues the way it does, Daniel Jones is not winning any games.
Peter, someone just sent me a direct message for you. Find yourself a hot girl here.
Well, there you go. Exactly.
Listen,
Can you?
If
Can
the
someone
Giants
tell me-
come
can
back
someone
from the
put a link
bye,
where to find a quarterback?
listen, the Giants come back from the bye. Okay, they start getting healthy all of a sudden. All the players they have missing. You're talking about injuries like that. We were talking about the Bucks there. You don't want to look at the Giants list of injuries they got this year. We got the Texans and the Lions start off.
Okay.
So when we're 8-2 and getting healthy, I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay.
Well,
at the-
Drew,
look
you
at the
may be
Jets
8-2,
injuries.
but honestly, at the end of the day, you do you honestly think you're going anywhere with Daniel Jones?
I think we'll go somewhere. I don't think we'll get the Super
I
Bowl.
love
No,
Danny
of course
Jones.
not,
You're
but
gonna go one game and out. That's where you're gonna go. You're gonna make the playoffs. You're gonna probably win that
Listen,
division or be a wild.
if you
card.
had told me at the beginning of the year that we go to the playoffs and be out in the first round, I'd say sign me the hell up right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sign
I'll
me
go
the
with.
hell
I'll
up.
say that. I'll say that
First
too.
off,
the matter is,
First off, it's not fair. You want to ask about injuries? The Jets are relatively healthy right
are
now. Corey
no, the
Davis
Jets
is
are
out.
Dead.
James
The Jets are
Robinson's
dead
knee
right
is
now.
questionable. Okay.
Yeah,
We're on our fifth. We're on like our fifth string. All right, wait.
yeah,
Brees Hall's
Barrett
out for the year.
Tucker's out, right?
Now, Elijah Tucker's out for the year. Mekhi
Yes.
Becton is out for the year. Corey
Yes.
Davis is out today.
Mhm.
We had
Brees
Here,
Hall.
let's
You
keep
lost
going.
Brees Hall.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Brees Hall. We
Come
lost
on.
our best
Eh,
player.
And let's not forget when Zach Wilson hurt his groin with his mom's friend.
Well, there you
Bingo.
go. There you go.
And
My
Zach-
hero,
and
by the
Zach-
way.
And Zach missed
My
the first
hero,
game.
Zach Wilson. He's
And-
my hero.
and
He's like
maybe that's the
Stifler's mom.
problem.
Okay.
Focus on the outside, delicacies, if you will, of football instead of what's going on the field. He has not improved his game. But at the end of the day, I haven't seen enough of Zach Wilson. I know what Daniel Jones is. He's a running quarterback that can't get it done and can't win.
You don't know. He's never had a team around him.
He has,
he's
he has
never had
a
a
lot
team.
of game
Not
winning
a-
drives this
not
year.
a
I can't
good-
lie.
Who's his receiver right now? Who's his top receivers?
Me. It's me.
Yes,
I have
me.
the same amount of receiving touchdowns
You
as
got
Kenny Galladay
Slayton,
this year.
you had Shepard. I mean, you've had
Shepard's been
mic
out.
Drop. I love
Shepard's
it.
been out since week 3. Okay,
You,
Okay.
you are
various
missing
players.
a hell of a show,
What is-
Jamie.
What has he done in the years before? What is Daniel
Well,
Jones?
when he had
Never
Jason
played
Garrett, I would have been a better offensive
Okay,
coordinator than
those
Jason
are
Garrett. Okay,
excuses to
if
me.
that man was a flavor of ice cream,
Is
it'd be
he a
vanilla, smothered
quarterback
with more
that's
vanilla.
going to win
Okay,
anything for you? At the end of the day, is he going to win anything for you? Yes or no?
well, I gotta see.
Oh, no, you already know. You already
We
told
gotta
me.
see.
You didn't say
No,
yes or no. You already told me.
I said
You
before
already
that
told me. You
we,
didn't say
we
yes
haven't
or no.
seen
You
him
gotta-
with a
we gotta
complete team.
see.
We haven't.
You know what he's already about. Daniel
He is
Jones.
an average to a slightly above average
love it.
Thank
quarterback
you
in this
very
league,
much. Thank
and
you.
I'll take it.
I'll
I'll take it.
Okay, he's not going to take
Listen.
me anywhere.
We don't know that yet. You know what we are, the Giants? I said this before, and I'll say it again. We are the new Tennessee Titans. Good defense, good running team, average quarterback.
And out in the first round, like you were,
Zero
like the Titans
defense.
were last year.
Whoa,
There-
did you say zero defense?
Well, that's what the Titans
Wow.
are. That's what the
Wow.
Titans are
What-
doing
what
right
were the
now.
Titans- What were the
Here comes
Titans?
the cat
Wink
fight,
Martindale.
ladies and
Okay.
No, Wink Martindale's a great coach.
Wink-
I
I'll tell
wanted
you right
Wink
now,
Martindale.
Also,
I'm worried we're going to lose
Wink
Wink in the
Martindale.
offseason because he's going to be a hell of a head coach.
I
for
wanted
somebody.
Wink. If you go back right before they hired Saleh, my offseason plan for the Jets was I wanted them to hire Wink Martindale from the Ravens. I think that would have been a great head. I think he's going to be a great head coach.
And-
but if you want to compare yourself to the Titans, you got to compare yourself to that zero defense they played in the last 5 years under Vrabel. So I think the Giants defense is definitely better. But you kind of pick when you pick your head coach. If you pick a coordinator, you want a good offense, you pick an OC. If you want a good defense, you pick a DC. And you kind of pick what's the lesser of two evils. You guys went with a good offense right now, and your defense, is having trouble.
There you go, Peter.
Against
find yourself
some really solid teams.
Love it. And I tell you right now, I wonder when the old Daniel Jones is going to come back when he starts turning over the ball like the turnover machine.
Okay, that was his rookie year. Get over it. That was 3 years
no,
ago.
No, it's not getting over it because it
ago.
wasn't his rookie year. It's been throughout his whole career. Look at his whole career.
Yeah, people have been overstating those facts.
He's a turnover machine. He is what he is. You can slant it all you want to, but look at the numbers. He's been a turnover machine. You want to talk about offensive line? You want to talk about wide receivers? He is a turnover machine that's going nowhere with this Giants team.
How many does he have this year?
I tell you right now.
How many turnovers does he have this year?
Right. But he's going to turn. He's going to go back.
Because he's playing well because he finally has a good offensive coach to teach him.
Saquon Barkley is healthy. That's the reason why.
I think this is a lot of pent up aggression you have.
No,
I think Bowles right now. This is Todd Bowles aggression coming out.
I think I'm telling the truth. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm telling the truth about your quarterback. Nope. You got your feelings hurt.
How many turnovers did he have this year?
And told me. Listen,
how many turnovers did he have this year?
You tried to tell me right now that Daniel Jones in his rookie year, that's the only year he's had. Look at his numbers.
That has been his turnover machine year. Was his rookie year. Ever since then, he's had more than average, but not machine.
A turnover machine ever since he's came into the league.
So how many does he have this year?
Right.
How many? How many does he have this year? You're halfway over. It's not. We're not talking week 2. We're halfway over with the year.
What did I say, Drew? When is he going to turn back into that turnover machine? And what
he's
you
not
told
going
me
to
because
he got a good offensive coach to fix him.
You told me what? You said, "Oh, that's only his rookie year." No. Look at his numbers.
Machine-wise, you said machine. He is
a
over average as far as turnovers. He's turnover machine just the rookie year.
Look at the numbers. He's
a turnover machine.
I'm just saying. You told me. You tried to tell me it's just 1 year.
And I'm still saying the same thing. I'm still saying the same thing.
It's BS.
No.
Look at the numbers.
Nope.
Defend your quarterback.
Wait a minute.
It's not
someone else going to say something.
It's not BA, that's for sure. It's not BA.
All right, gentlemen, hold on. We're going to settle this argument. You ready? Jacob, who's right?
No, I like here's my thing, right? Like if you watch this Giants offense, Brian Daboll has another big-armed, big-bodied quarterback that kind of looks, and I'm not comparing their talent. But they're using him similarly to how Brian Daboll used Josh Allen in Buffalo. And it's working. It's working. Because now Brian Daboll is all trigger happy with finally having a running back. And now he's using it. Daniel Jones can absolutely use his legs. There's no denying that. I think it's a system. I really think that this team can win with Daniel Jones, and he doesn't need to put the team on his back like the Giants have tried to have him do in years past with other coaches.
Well,
I'm going to settle this. Hold on.
Here's the numbers right here, guys. Career numbers: 51 touchdowns, 31 interceptions. That's it. I mean, you can sit here and say all you want to about
how many year by year? Let's get the year by year.
Well, year by year is, again, 12 for his rookie year, 10 for his 2020, 2021, 7 interceptions. And by the way,
so down each year. Thank you.
By the way, genius, it's not even including the fumbles at the end of the day. How many fumbles this team has? The only reason why this team is competitive right now is because they have Saquon Barkley healthy. So don't give me that nonsense. Don't give me that nonsense that Daniel Jones is in the turnover machine, because every freaking New York Giant fan will tell you all day long they would rather have a quarterback in next year's draft.
Peter, do you realize, Peter, that you just been jerseyed?
Yeah.
Seriously, do you realize that you've been jerseyed right now?
I'll say no. Hold on.
I also take back my coffee comment before. You've had too much coffee.
Well, maybe so.
You've been jerseyed.
I'm telling the truth, and you're trying to tell me you're trying to throw some BS that it's all
year. You just show that the interceptions have gone down each year. They've gone down each year.
And 31. Is he not a turnover machine, sir?
No.
He's not a turnover machine.
He was. He's not.
51 touchdowns and 31. You just tried to tell me some BS that was only 1 year. That's nonsense.
I said the rookie year was his turnover machine year. He does more turnovers than most quarterbacks other years.
Interceptions his whole freaking career. That is a turnover machine.
My wife said, quote unquote, you guys better stop, or she's going to whip both your asses.
And she's from
Telling
Jersey
you
too.
right
so-
now, you can say whatever you want to, but you're not going to throw some nonsense out there and say, "Oh, I'm right about this." No, you're not. 51 and 31, the numbers don't lie.
The
Period.
numbers don't lie. He's gone down
Okay.
each year, as you clearly
He's
showed.
gone
Thank
down, but he's also at 31 interceptions, and you didn't count the fumbles in there either.
you.
Do I need to
Ouch.
count the fumbles?
You want to
Or
compare you, but to be fair, you're right, Peter. You're right. Daniel
Thank you.
Jones has not been
Thank you.
fantastic. He's not
Thank
been
you
great.
very
But
much.
Hold on. Hear him out fully. Hear him out
Thank
fully.
you.
but
Thank
I'll
you.
Thank
flip
him.
it. I'll flip it,
Before you
and
thank him.
and then I'll get yelled at because Drew, I love your comparison to the Titans because I think look at Ryan Tannehill's little career path. Ryan Tannehill was stuck under you know who, that former Jets head coach in Miami to start his career and for most of his career, who terrible offensive play caller, terrible coach, no idea how to develop a quarterback. We've seen it twice now with him.
Oh,
now
boy.
Now Ryan Tannehill goes to Tennessee with a good coach, a good offensive coach, and all of a sudden Ryan Tannehill looks like Jesus again for a year. Now he looks like he knows how to play quarterback. And that's what we're seeing with Daniel Jones right now. He looks like he knows what he's doing out there, which is something that we haven't been able to say for the first 3 years of his career. Now this team has that solid running game. Now they're going to add a wide receiver in the offseason. We see it. We know they're talking with Odell. We know, like, clearly they want a receiver. I think unpopular that they go receiver in the first round next year, no matter what pick they have. They'll
That's not
take whatever.
And
They'll
if-
take whatever receiver it is. Is that not unpopular? I don't know. I figured you guys wanted.
Can
a
you guys
quarterback, so-
below us hug and make up real quick?
I'm fine with it. You're just not going to throw nonsense at me and say, this guy is this.
Sasha, can you hug him?
He's 51 and 31. He is what he is.
Drew, is that a banner? Is that a banner or a green screen?
Sorry.
No, I'm at the Amazon Stadium.
That's-
He's at the
I bet
Amazon.
I didn't think you were at Tottenham. I didn't think you were at
No, like I
Anyway.
said, again, he's gotten better
cool.
year by year, and he's been fixed this year now by a very good offensive coach.
We'll see.
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get back to the picks real quick. We're going to go ahead and
boy.
close the show out.
Thank
because
God.
we
Thank
wanna
God the
play
Giants
defense.
aren't playing today. Oh my God.
I like the Buccaneers -3, very, very small position. I like the
Yeah.
Titans to cover the 12.5 against the Chiefs. The Packers, unfortunately, you're 3.5-point favorites on the road to the Lions. I do like the Lions to go ahead and cover, believe it or not. Not only cover, possibly even win this game. There's a reason why it's 3.5 points. Green Bay's in serious trouble. Colts are at the Patriots. Stay away from the game. It's the total's 40.5 points. Patriots could win this game by an absolute huge margin, especially from no quarterback play.
Why are we staying away from that game? Why are we staying away from what pick? What round was Sam Ellinger? 6th round, maybe.
Fourth.
Okay,
But anyway,
we're saying a 4th round guy who's only started one game in the NFL, heading into New England against Belichick and this Patriots defense. I'll take
because
New
you're
England.
supposed to play the Patriots -5. I already gave out the Patriots -5, but try not to go too deep into it because
Fair
there's
enough,
some
fair
really
enough.
good games.
Fair enough.
One of my top picks of the week are the Bills at the Jets. Love the Jets catching the 11.5. It's now up to 12. Continue taking the points. This
And
game
no
is gonna be-
Trey White is inactive today. Matt Milano
not
is
know
not
that.
playing.
The
James
Vikings
Robinson's
are
playing.
at the Washington Commanders. Do not know what to say about that game. Do like another upset. The Raiders are on the road -2.5 at the Jacksonville Jaguars until the Raiders can tell me they can play on the road or even just play, period. Take Jacksonville in this game on the money line. Cardinals -1.5 against the Seahawks. Absolutely love the -1.5 in this game. And here's another thing I like. I like the under 49. I think they got this game way out of place. The Chargers -3.5 are at the Falcons. Not in love with this game whatsoever. Game of the week, the Dolphins -4 at the Chicago Bears. Lay the 4 points in the Miami Dolphins. Panthers at the Bengals. The total's 42. And the Bengals are -7. Stay away from the -7. Play the over 42 in this game. Any questions or comments, guys, before I get off?
Yeah, Daniel Jones only played with 11 games last year, so yeah, 10 and 7. Of course, his numbers will be better. He even played
Andrew, any comments?
Wow.
Oh, God.
Got it.
stats.
Jacob.
He got 3 today. 3 so far of the year, just saying. 3.
What's for dinner?
Yeah. What
feel
you
like
guys?
chicken tonight.
What you guys have for dinner? What you?
I don't know. I have no idea. Hi, Rick.
I like here's the picks I like. I like the Patriots money line. I like the Well, this is in LA. If you're putting them in LA, I do like the Packers today, -3.5.
Nothing wrong with that.
I also like the I did an alternate over 42.5 in the Dolphins game, but I think that game goes over the normal total of 46.5 anyway, because we saw the Dolphins struggle to contain the Lions last week. I think that they continue to struggle to contain the Bears. I think the Bears sneakily score some points. A nice little backdoor over in this game. So
I love the over in this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Andrew, tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, so Two Giant Goofballs. There's our podcast with.
Hold
Rob
on, guys.
Goofball.
Do not go anywhere.
Get
Do
Peter
not
on.
go anywhere. We actually have a
Uh-oh.
call coming in.
It's me.
Tampa Bay Ray, you're live on the over under still. What's up?
It's Peter.
Great
Just
show.
like,
Wait, you're still on? You're still live?
We're still live. Can you say it?
And now you're live.
Holy crap! No, you're not.
Yes, we are. Say hello, Jacob.
what up?
Peter.
Jacob, wait.
What's up?
Okay, fellas. I should
Drew?
have popped in.
Hey.
What?
What?
I have
Can't
to borrow.
believe
I
it.
have to borrow a hammer. That's why I'm calling.
Ray, come on over. The front door's open. Come on in. You're always invited to the Greek's house. See you later.
Bye bye.
Absolutely love Tampa Bay Ray. Kennedy.
Neighborly love.
Andrew, tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, so Rob and I's podcast, Two Giant Goofballs, available in all podcast platforms there. Of course, also available, through social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
On the TikTok.
TikTok.
Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate keeping you a little bit over. I was only kidding. I didn't like to leave you that way. Have a great day. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. Nothing but love. Everybody else, too. Even Peter.
Yep, absolutely. Nothing but love. This debate.
Jacob Charnow, tell everybody where they can find you, buddy.
Yeah, you can check me out. Follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charno, Instagram at HardCountFootball. You can check me out on YouTube, Hard Count Football on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe over there. We got some new content that just came out recently, and now you can go follow me on TikTok, which is at Jacob Charno. Same thing as my Twitter. We're all on TikTok now. You got to get on it. You guys got to get onto it. It's fantastic. But
Jacob, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Go Jets! And look,
and
who's
Jets
behind
money,
us.
Jets money line all day. Let's go.
Superman Ray.
Jets money line.
Take care, buddy.
Peace.
Peter,
Yes,
now
sir.
there's two of us.
There is.
We're going to go back to the last couple of comments, and we're going to go ahead and blaze out of here.
Let's do
Rob
it.
Donnelly says DJ will be a Giant next year and will look a lot better with some weapons. Rob Donnelly says Drew is not a DJ fan, which is true. Rob says 2 interceptions this year. Rob also said he was not on this year. Rob says Jacob is the voice of reason about DJ. And Rob Donnelly says Hawks win. Rob also says 2 giant goofballs. They're 2 giant goofballs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love Andrew. Peter,
Yes.
never apologize ever for getting heated, because you
I
know
don't.
what? Tell the 3 things. that
Bring
you're
your
famous for.
passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. The evolution of sports talk television, the sports web, live after the Bucks-Rams game. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to bring nonsense on my show because I'm going to call your ass out. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And Bucks fans, it's your time. Have a great day.
Appreciate you coming on, Peter. Have a
Appreciate
good
you,
one, sir. Well, that was a long edition for a pregame. Not too bad. Appreciate all the views. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for sharing the show. Hopefully we make some money this week. Man, just don't even know where to start. There was a lot of passion brought into this game. Into this show. Oof. Love it. Absolutely love it. Looking forward to a lot more of it, because you know what? It's a heavyweight boxing match. But that's what you get when you mess with people from Jersey, ladies and gentlemen. It's tough. You were Jersey, Peter. You fell right into that trap. They were just kind of sprinkling it right over the top of you. But we love you, man. Anyway, I'm Harry the Greek on the over-under on 1252 Sports. Very much appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's make some money. And as I always say, keep your bets low and make your returns high. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, everybody.